Can you hear me?
I don't know.
I'm not seeing anything.
Hold on.
Oh, there we go.
Wait for it.
You're live.
Live. So I'm waiting for the actual.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's live.
Should we mute ourselves? Should we mute ourselves and then go from there?
No, I mean it's already streaming. Like they hear us now.
Oh, I guess
Well,
they heard us whenever I said, "Can you hear me?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when it starts. Like, can
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is
I'm
your
not seeing
conscience
anything.
speaking.
Hold on.
Yeah, they should be able to hear us and not see us. Not till I hit
Are
this
they?
other button.
It's like John Cena right now.
Yep. All right, we ready? Y'all give me the go ahead.
I'm good to go.
I was born ready.
Bam.
I was born
All right.
with 2 left feet. And,
All right, so we are live. What's going on, everyone? Texas Cloud Town back in with some good friends from the Stooge fam, Stooge crew, and this is the Texas Vape Chilli. So hope y'all enjoy this. But first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go around with our buffets. So Poon Sauce McNasty, go ahead and hit him with your buffet.
Is it just because I just vaped? I
Yeah.
feel like that's what it was. Okay. What's going on, everybody? First setup I got going on tonight is my Black Copper Dreamer with the Rebirth. DHD chop top on top of there. And inside that, I got some Grape Jam Monster.
Oh,
And then next, I got the Warlock's Hammer with the Warrior. Clear drip tip on there. And inside of there, I got some Guerrilla Warfare .270. And then next, I got it's a weird looking mod right now, but I got my AF mod with
What?
my ghoul on top. Some random fucking 810 drip tip I found. Inside of there, I got some rounds, apple kiwi.
that looks hella steeped.
Oh yeah, I got this in Cleveland, Midwest last year.
Wow.
That was like I don't know if I think it was like April, March of last year. I don't remember. And next, finally, I got my Aspen Modco, Tormund, a Monarch, Recoil Rebel, and inside of there, I got some Transistors Foster.
Yeah, I'm
I
still
got
waiting
one
on my sister.
Hold on, I got one more setup. Hold on. And my RTA setup, the one that's like been going with me everywhere. That's like driving all that stuff. I got Cartel Revenant with
Nice.
the gear on top, and inside of there, I got some Nazo by Transistor.
Dude, I've been rocking the shit on my cartel ever since I got it working again. I've been loving it.
The only thing that the problem of mine is I don't know if you can see it, but the thing kind of
Yep, same with mine.
sticks out a little bit. But
Wait,
still
see,
works.
if you open it over there by where the hinge is, there's a little pin,
I'm not
and
touching.
that pin is the one that messes with mine. It doesn't. The spring isn't working that well.
The moment I tried doing that, I would be the pin would go flying, and then I would never be able to.
Yeah, we don't let Poon Sauce take stuff apart.
No, I break things or things just get lost.
Send it to Mark.
Yeah, that's all I got. So
Mhm.
let's pass it off to Mr. Shane Oakley.
Uh-oh. I'm glad I didn't take a drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, what I've got, Mr. Just Right with the axial on top. In there, got my all day merge transmission. Hold on, shaky hand. Ardent White Dreamer with the, which one is this one? Shamrock cookie. In that one.
Which one? That's your like all day.
Well, I have 2 Sad Boy liquids now.
Oh,
I got my Keen Dead Goat. And in there I have the Sad Boy Butter Cookie. If I can, there it is. Sorry, my light's kind of bright. And got my profile on the Shogun. In there got some Bubs. Watermelon bubblegum from IVC.
Boobs.
Bubs. Amit MTL on the Armor Pro. I got the strawberry lemonade, the final stand, 12 milligram, and Caliburn. And in there, I got some Solace Mint, 30 milligram Nick Salt. And then, I've got the little Nord floating around here. It's also got merge transmission in it. Oh, and the Superman setup tonight with the blue Unity on the red Dreamer. In there,
I might have to do that setup too.
in there, got the Parade Maker from IVC.
Nice.
Oh, that stuff's so good.
Yes.
That gets me weak between the knees.
Yes. So that's all I've got. Nick, take it away, man.
All right, man. What's up, everybody? I guess I'll start. I mean, you probably already saw it. Gummy Love, Aspen Modco Monarch with the Axial on top. I took the beauty ring off just to make it look different. Inside, coil turd coils. I don't remember which ones or which one since I have it in a single coil. And on that, I am rocking the Noms ×2, which is cactus, jackfruit, and mandarin.
Man, I really want to try that one.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God, it is amazing. It is so flavorful. And at different temperatures you taste different aspects. It's super good. I have the other one that's not the white peach raspberry. I don't remember what the other profile is, but it's also really good. And I'm also rocking the white Hexome V3, Cali V2 on top, and in that I have Paramount.
Well, Paramount.
Oh,
Yeah, one IVC juice, the other's for known, and then my stick, because I am a horrible human being who uses salt Nick as a crutch. So,
I use it to get by. If I don't have time to go outside, I'll sneak into the bathroom and hit my Caliburn during the day.
Oh, I used to do that all the time.
I
just stopped using them.
It just, for me, man, when I first started vaping, I stopped on a 3 and I stayed at a 3, and I was a 5-pack a day smoker of Marlboro Red 100s.
Wow.
So was I never ever felt satisfied vaping a 3, but anything over a 3, I would cough. So whenever Saltnik became a thing, I was like, I'm getting on this train, because that's how I stay satisfied. This 60 milligram, 50 milligram, that's how I stop. That's how I don't smoke now, because a 3 milligram doesn't do it for me. In all honesty, a 24 mouth to lung doesn't do it for me. And with regular nicotine, I got the Saltnik is what keeps me from being a smoker.
Damn, that's good.
Yeah, it's been 4 years like that. So anyway, on to Texas Cloud Town. What you vaping on? Get off my soapbox.
So I got the Saint with the Stew Crew cap on there with the Goom 1.5, and I just patinaed it and I just spray painted it yesterday, and I'm actually liking it. So
that actually looks really dope.
Yeah, I really didn't like it the first time I spray painted it. I was like, man, screw this. I pulled it off and then I let it sit, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it and see how it looks. And it's been growing on me, so I like it. Inside that, I got the Ripe Straw Nanner, some good stuff. Next, I got the NATO with the Apocalypse 25 on top, a ball bearing button with some Marcellus in there.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, I ran out of cookie butter, so I had to switch back to Marcellus, and I still got 2 bottles of that, luckily. And then I got the Ardent on top of the Keen, all blacked out, with some Tropic King cucumber cooler. And not a huge Tropic King fan, and this is a really good liquid, so I would really recommend it to anyone. And then next, I got the Purge Twisted 2700 with the Turk V2 on top, and I have some Custard Shop butterscotch in there that I am running really low on. But that's about it. So we're pretty much just here having fun, talking, doing whatever we want. I see Angela threw up that there is a 25% off your total order for noms times 2. So make sure you definitely use that because I really need to use that and get some of that cactus jackfruit because jackfruit's one of my favorite fruits. So definitely use that. But anyway, so topics. If y'all have any topics, just throw them in the chat or whatever. But one of the ones I want to talk about since we kind of briefly touched on it right before we went live was tattoos. Uh, and Nick, I know you have one really cool tattoo.
Yeah, I've got Cthulhu covering up, my bingo wing, and I have a Vape Life tattoo on my forearm. That was my 1 year vape anniversary gift to myself to basically ensure that commitment could never, because I don't want to be that guy that's out there smoking a cigarette and they're like, what the fuck, what's that on your arm? And I need to get that one redone. And then I also have this is actually Angela's lips that I had tattooed. This is my
I thought that was
first
just a really
tattoo.
high raised nipple.
No, that's on the other side.
Oh, okay.
This was my first tattoo ever, and it was my first Father's Day present. So, that's all I have. I want more. I have a portfolio on my computer of everything that I want and where I want to get it. I just haven't had a chance to do all that, unfortunately.
What's some ideas you got, if you don't mind me asking?
So one of the ones I want, and this is going to sound so lame, or it won't. I want to get the Autobots logo and around it around it in Cybertronian, which is the language that they speak. I want it to say "Until all are one," which is a quote from the show. Cause I'm a huge Transformers fan. Like where Angela, I love He-Man too, but like Masters of the Universe is definitely like her thing. Transformers is mine. No, Nick, I'm not gonna get that butthole tattoo unless you pay me the $5,000. Then I'm down for it. See, that's the problem when you got people that watch like everybody, like all your friends and everything, and then you say something like that on a stream, it comes back to you. I also want to do a somewhere either on my arms or something. I've so like I'm not a superstitious person, but I like.
But you're a little stitious.
Only slightly.
I love that. Hi guys. Hello.
Hi, Dan.
Dan.
Oh, hi.
But I have like this thing, and I've always wanted to get a crow on one arm and a cardinal on the other with Amazing Grace lyrics on it, which I know is super like overdone, but it just means a lot to me. And where I was in my life and where I'm at now are like, it's a day and night difference. Oh, and I can't forget, on this forearm, I'm going to get all of Eric Vinyl and Vapor's Picked Clean Vulture on my forearm.
That's badass.
That's just something that, number one, I want to be able to sit down, with Eric with me while I do it, and money and time. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, I pretty much, by the time, I always tell myself after my grandparents pass, I'll get all my tattoos, but they're two of the most supportive people of tattoos because they think they're really cool because they never got any.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I've gotten one, I'm like, oh man, I don't want to see this. And then they see it and they're like, oh, that's dope as hell, man. So I'll probably start getting more as money and time becomes available. Hopefully,
Yeah, yeah. That same thing with me. I haven't gotten any in a while because of money and time.
Dude,
it's expensive.
can I just say something?
Yes,
I
sir.
haven't gotten anything since I've been hanging out with you guys because I spend all my money here.
I'm
Yeah.
That's the
perfectly okay.
truth.
I'm
And that's the
perfectly
truth. Think about it. Like, I've thought about this. I'm like, dude, the past 3 years, what I've spent, I could have had the tattoos I wanted. I already
Yep.
know it.
Same here.
All right, give me 1 sec. Sorry, I got a phone call coming in.
God damn it, Andy.
Yeah, but that like how much you said you spent in the last 3 years. I had a list that I have in my work notebook or whatever of wish list things I wanted for vaping.
That's the worst
And
thing.
yeah, I made a stupid list. But the thing is, I like wrote discount codes next to it and all this other stuff. So I looked up like the cheapest websites and I wrote them down next to it also. So like I did my research and my math on everything. And then he's like, "Well, this is like the cheapest you can find everything, right?" I'm like, "Yeah. It's the cheapest I can find everything." He's like, "Well, let me have that list because I might want something off of there." And it has codes and websites. Like, all right, sure. He's like, "Dude, this adds up to like over $1,000 and everything's checked off." He's like, "When did you make the list?" I was like, around Christmas, I think." He's like, "What the hell?" I'm like, I don't know, man. That's not even including like liquids and batteries and stuff. So, and other stuff I didn't put on there that I just bought.
Yeah. Oh, I don't. Man, between me and Corey, we have spent some stupid. Like, we could have bought a Honda for the. I mean, but you know, I don't. I wouldn't change it for a second, man. Because I love my Monarch. I love this thing, and I use it just about every day. Um, the only thing I ever have an issue with is like the smaller, cheaper stuff that I'm like, man, why did I buy that? You know, like that's just such a shitty little device, or and I end up giving it away. So like somebody ends up enjoying it, which I'm cool with. But I mean, like it's rough. Like have you ever experienced that? Have you ever experienced like buyer's remorse over something you were really amped up about?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I don't want to say pod systems, but pod systems are one now that like I do not use. I used them for maybe like a month or two, and then I stopped using them. So now I'm just like, well, I bought them for a review, and then I used them for a little while, and now they just sit. So I'm like, you know what? Let me try to sell them, or let me try to just give them away to someone who needs them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the same
But I
way.
mean, that honestly helps people out because like I bought that anarchist riot off of you, Nick, and I mean, like I used that thing for like I don't know 3 months straight. It was like a daily thing I was using because I loved it. And I mean,
It's a good little RDA, and I mean, I don't know what I sell it for, like $10-15.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It like helps
Like,
someone else out, and it's definitely good to do that to people. Well, Mr. Corey, what about you? You got any tattoo ideas, and what all do you got now?
What makes you think I have tattoos?
Are you using
Do I
swagging
look
background
like,
thing
do I
again?
look like that kind of fucking dude?
I don't want to interrupt. I'm sorry, but I realize I can't stay that long. So if I can get mine out there before Corey, because they're already been brewing in my head when I heard you guys start talking about tattoos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, do your buffet.
Literally,
too.
I have like 15 minutes and I'm out of here. So just give me
What the
5
hell?
minutes of your time, Corey, and we can go over your whole body plan that you got going on.
Yeah, do your buffet while you're at it.
Buffet. I have my Keen with that Rebirth RTA. Mike Vapes Rebirth RTA. And I got that coiled herd juice.
Bastard.
Dude,
Woolly bully.
it's a sad day. I'm down here already, and I've only had it a
shit.
day and a half.
yeah, man, that
it's
Woolly
so good.
Bully's fire.
Dude, every time I think about trying to say the name, I go back to Guardians of the Galaxy. What's his face? Blue dude. I always forget his fucking Yandu. When he's talking, he's like, "There's nothing at bully bully boolulu." Like when he says that, I'm like, "That's what this is. That's what this is." It's actually
just call it Yandu.
No,
yeah, this is Banana Land right here. That's what that means.
his name is Rowdy
Fucking
Burns.
Banana Land. And then I got my
His
big
name- Sorry, Dan. His name is Rowdy
Yeah.
Burns, and his name will always be
Pizza
Rowdy
Edition.
Burns.
Oh, Dead Goat, DHD, Chop Top. I'm trying some new stuff from 62 Distribution that does Paramount.
Is that the Pearberry?
And this is Scream Berry.
Ooh.
You see cream is like, so there's cream in it. Scream Berry.
What kind of cream, Dan?
It's definitely a strawberries and cream, but there's something else in there that you
Looks like
can't
blackberry.
I can't figure it out.
Probably
I-
coconut.
It's not coconut. I know coconut and I like coconut, and it's not coconut.
Probably coconut.
The shin was just like he was scratching my leg. By the time I got to like the fourth color, because it went like red, orange, yellow, whatever, that fourth color, it didn't matter where he was touching me, my whole leg felt it. I'm just like, okay, we can be done now. That's done. And the plans are, I've always loved Gears of War. I want like a half sleeve Gears of War down here. I also love Assassin's Creed. I want a half sleeve Assassin's Creed. Don't know if I want color black and white yet, but those are two of my favorite games.
Which of those two are your favorite in those respective series?
Ooh, what do you mean? Like,
Nick's gonna be judging you.
like I've played Call of Duty and all that, but I really got into Gears of War. Even though I'm a PlayStation person, I bought an Xbox just so I could play that game and follow that series.
Okay, so I'm with you because those are two of my absolute hands down favorite game series ever made.
They're amazing. They're fun as hell to play, dude. You put a chainsaw bayonet on a machine gun, you had me. I'm like, let's go.
So out of Assassin's Creed, which one is your favorite? And out of Gears, which one is your favorite?
I really like the Ezio story.
Okay.
Like I like his, what was it? Did he have 3? Because like the first one was a great introduction in the game, and then I was like, fuck all this horse riding shit everywhere. Like there was no fast travel yet.
There was like Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and
There was like the Ezio story. There was like 3 of them. There was like Revelation, something.
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really like I played the one with Connor, like the Washington setting when we're like becoming a nation. I really the pirate one was the last one I got to play. Black Flag was the last one. I have to go. Hold on. Yeah, I'll be right back.
Good talk, Dan.
Well,
Should we wait for him?
Let's just
Well, I
stare at the total non-participants.
Yeah, I think I'm
so
the only
did anybody
one.
else play Gears or Assassin's
No, I've
Creed?
never really been a big gamer. I've like, I don't know. As a kid, I was always outside. Like I had a PlayStation. I cried for one, and I finally got one. And then when I got one, I never played it. So I was like, "What the hell?" And my mom like got really mad at me for that. So I never like really bought one. And I bought a PlayStation 3 like maybe 2 years ago. So like I don't ever really play. I'll play Call of Duty every now and then with a couple buddies. That's about it.
Yeah. So sorry. I was watching John Wick when I realized you guys were on, and then I left my sound bar really loud. I thought I paused it, and my house is fucking shaking. I'm like, what is that? No one's home. Like, what is going on here? Yeah. So Assassin's Creed, I love the Ezio story, but Black Flag was really cool. Like, it was like when you're driving you could drive the ship and make the crewmates sing old time fucking pirate songs.
Shanty tunes.
That was amazing. Like that was like the pirate version of Grand Theft Auto. You know what I mean? If you're changing the radio to stations, like that was cool as hell. That like sing another song. I'm not getting out this boat till I hear the one I like.
Yeah, that one's my favorite. That I lucked out. I went to Goodwill because I have the game. I've had it. I went to Goodwill one day and they had all the Assassin's Creed games in the super ultimate collector's edition.
Awesome.
So I now have all the statues. I have the Assassin's Creed Black flag.
Yes.
A music
Such a good game.
soundtrack.
I wanted a dog. If we would have got a boy, I would have campaigned hard for my dog to be called Ezio. Nicole never would have went for it, but I would have campaigned the shit out of that.
Dude, that's another tattoo that I would get. Would be the Black Flag version of the.
I've always wanted like his saying that he said. Like I've always tried to like,
everything is permitted.
but in the what is he saying in Italian?
Italian.
I don't. I have
Italian.
no idea how to say
Not
it in
Italian.
Dude,
Italian.
that's how I say Italian. Just just deal with it, guys.
Down there in
Well,
Italian.
okay,
It's Italy and it's Italian to me. I don't give a shit.
Is it
Parmesan.
is it Detroit or Detroit?
This is this Detroit.
And down here in Detroit, they never.
But is it McDonald's or McDonald's?
Oh God, we're not
McDonald's. No, the worst thing is everyone says Meyer with an S on the end. So like we're going to Myers. We're going to Myers. Or like we're not going to Meyer. We're not going to Kmart's. We're going to Kmart.
Walmart's. You got to
Walmart's.
No,
Yeah,
not the T. It's got to have a
Everyone
K.
throws a damn S on the end. I'm like, you're dumb, but I say Italian, so it is what it is.
Going over to Home Depot.
Yeah, Home Depot.
Let's go to Home Depot's.
My grandmother put a K on it, so it was Walmart's.
So
Going into Walmart and everything.
just for Dan to get his little shits and giggles, it's not in Italian. It's actually Latin.
Latin. That's
it's-
that one language.
I like.
Omne quod lice nihil.
Yeah, the part where he like right before he kills someone, and he's like doing like the prayer, like
Oh, and nomine patria et spiritus sancti.
yes, I love that and the
that's-
credo. Like both of those together are awesome as hell. Like I would
That's
like.
Italian.
I know that's not like his thing because I've seen like
Okay, I was
Boondock
about to
Saints and
say, yeah.
yeah, they've said it and stuff, but I always wanted like an Ezio tattoo, but I didn't know how I wanted to do it. Like a whole sleeve where like at the top of my shoulder there's the whole leap of faith thing, and then another like key scene around my arm. I haven't thought it out really.
I'll tell you right now how you should do it, Dan.
Ooh.
You either do your whole arm or the whole, like your back or like your side where it's a huge piece.
My ribs are off limits, guys. I've seen tattoos and I'm out. I am not strong enough for
do
that.
Your back.
Not
Do your back.
Yeah. I have.
And
So
do-
you saw my leg. My buddy's got like a piece like that on his side. It's like a King Arthur kind of thing going on.
Nice.
I'll show you pictures later. But I watched him like if he's getting tattooed, he was having a bottle and he was like shaking.
Ooh.
It's-
I don't even know if my. I know I could.
Gnarly, dude.
Like-
It's gnarly.
But do a stained glass on your back of Ezio coming
that'd be
down with
sweet.
his blade out, about to assassinate someone, and then that way over the glass you can have the quote of nothing is true, everything is permitted, and then on the bottom in nomine patria et spiritus sancti.
Love that. And then he's just like, what? I'm like, yes.
Oh yeah. Then he
Nice.
fucking
And then
ends
he
you,
ends
and
you.
you're like, oh,
Such good games, so
Oh.
detailed, and they got better as they went on. Like there was never like, oh, this is like the last one. Like no, they added little things that just made it much better and that much more real.
I started playing the most two recent ones like simultaneously, and just between those two, I'm like, holy crap! They've made so many different that's the one series that I'm like, don't stop, like just keep
And
it going.
yeah, and Black Flag was the last thing that came out before we had Rowan. And literally, guys, I used to play video games every night. Call of Duty, Gears of War, the Assassin's Creed games. Like I didn't have many girlfriends, but I had video games there to hold my hand.
See, that's
It's
why,
really how it worked out.
that is why I am hashtag blessed, because my wife, she plays video games, and her version of playing video games is sitting on the couch watching it, and she loves the Assassin's Creed series.
Yeah,
When the PS4 first came out, we drove like 3 hours, and Texas Cloud Town will understand, driving 3 hours around Texas. We're driving from like where we lived to Weatherford to like damn near Oklahoma, trying to find a PS4 and Assassin's Creed 4. And we got it finally. We got it home, got it set up on our big ass TV, and we're like,
You're right. Yeah,
Well,
dude, just great game.
I never really got into Assassin's Creed, but I did play Call of Duty. My shining moment of Call of Duty is when Modern Warfare 3 was big. I was in the top 10,000 of the world in multiplayer.
Holy shit, dude.
Damn.
That's awesome. My shining moment from Call of Duties, I think was it 2 where if you got 25 kills you could drop the nuke in multiplayer?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Dude, I tried so hard to get that shit. Like played it every day. Get like lucky and get like 19 kills. Didn't have like my perks set up right to get me to that 25, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But then there's just that one day where out like the stars align, you're in the good room, no one sees where you're hiding or moving around, and you just get the drop on them. I ended up getting the 25 nuke ender thing twice within 3 matches. I was
Nice.
just on fire that day.
God.
I like literally jumped in, like was in this room, got it, played another round. I'm like, I'm not leaving this room now. Like I'm killing this. You know what I mean?
I love
Halfway
that
through,
game.
it like disconnected. I jumped into another room and then did the same thing. Had the same plan, the map that I like. Just started. Everything was just like the stars were aligned that day.
See, the only 2 Call of Duties that I ever got into, and I have to think, I have a group of friends that play Xbox religiously, and they were over one night, and they're like, "You have an Xbox, but you don't have Xbox Live. You don't have Call of Duty." Like, I'm like, "No, man, I play Minecraft. Like, I don't have it."
Fusion Frenzy, always our
And
party game.
yeah, dude,
Yeah.
hell yeah,
Dude, I'll still
That's
get down on some Twisted System, and
dude.
there was such good mini games on Fusion Frenzy, dude.
They,
Such good.
they
Jet
bought
Stream,
me.
the hover boats. Where you
Oh
gotta
yeah,
knock them off
dude.
the edge. I love that one, dude.
Oh god, dude, that takes me back.
What's funny is when they came out with the 360, they still had you could play the Xbox games on it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But Fusion Frenzy had like a lag to it. Like when you tried to jump on Twisted System, like it was just like, don't take this away from us. Can we get a Fusion Frenzy 2 with these games and newer ones? And I never ended up seeing another one.
We'll just go out and buy the original Xbox LAN party.
Yeah.
But they bought me World War II the year to Xbox Live, and I was the worst. Like these matches would end and I'd be like 0-40. Like, I mean, I couldn't get it down. So I started like hammering, spending hours on this game. And it got to the point where my buddy who had bought this setup for me would be finishing like 12-1, like 15-0. And I'm at the top at like 37-1, 30-0. And he was like, "What the hell happened?" And I'm like, I'm just you did this to me. You
I'm
created this
all
monster.
in, man.
So-
Like I have the gun that I like, the way I like it set up, the perks that work for me, the fucking like I always use like UAV. I think like if you were going for like for the one for where you had the nuke, like the nuke took one of your spots. So you always like I had either like, all right, if I get 3 kills, I can use the UAV, see where people are at, start capping some off, get myself up to like 10 or 11 kills, and you could release the dogs, and the dogs just killed everyone for you. So you just hide until your dogs do the work, and hopefully you need like 1 or 2 more kills, and then drop the fucking nuke. And you like start shaking. I'm like, I'm at like 23. I need 2 more. You're shaking.
Yeah.
You're turning the fucking like, oh!
That's how I play, man.
Yeah.
Every time I play, I'm like, oh, gotta kill him, gotta kill him, gotta
Yeah,
over
like
here.
this is doing any like now it does shit like that now you can do, but back then with a wired controller to like a PS2 or like even the PS3 you had to charge it at times. I remember still being corded.
The struggle of like when you owned a PS2 and like you got pissed off and you like jinked the freaking cord and your PlayStation fell off the thing or something. You're like, oh shit!
Before I gotta go, I'll tell you the best and worst thing that video games ever came out with was wireless controllers. The best, your dog never knocked into shit. It was awesome. But the worst, as they were wireless, I have broken 2 Xbox controllers and 1 PS4 by turning around and throwing it at my couch like a big baby. I broke drywall with the corners of them because my bed was like where I had it, and I just smashed my arm with the controller, and there was a PlayStation 4 nub and then an Xbox nub right above it. Like
Nice.
It was probably good Rowan came along, and I just put video games down because I get really fucking angry. For no reason. It's a game.
God.
My Xbox
Has anyone
360.
does anyone have that? Or am I the only one?
I'll get pissed.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll get pissed.
I've never broken a controller.
Oh, dude, I used to turn around and just launch it at my couch, and sometimes it went like in the cushions, and then it like hit the metal bracing, and that one just like shattered. I was like, wow, there's $60.
I mean, I was a poor white kid. I had a controller, and if that thing broke, I was screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'd be a point in my head. I'm like, I don't care if I break it, and then I broke it. I'm like, you're an idiot. What are you doing? You do care.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You just did what everyone else did with like rubber bands on your wrist, and when you fucked up, just kind of snap yourself.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, that would have been way cheaper.
Yeah.
Than what I did.
Those controllers are not cheap, man.
No. You got to find them on sale when they're like $40. Then you're like, okay.
Can you imagine
Don't
coming to my house and you open like a fucking linen closet and I have like 12 controllers in their cases?
Dude,
I might
Just
get mad
ready?
tonight. Who knows?
Yeah.
I got
there's
backups.
Hey, Eddie Tooney said, Dan, I know you got to go. Dad joke on the way out.
Oh shit!
We will.
Yeah, hold on.
We will steal you from the Omies.
I've been keeping some in the chamber since. Talk amongst yourselves.
So there's a YouTuber that I watch, Uber Haxer Nova, and he's part of Cow Chop, was part of Cow Chop, and he does Mario Maker, and he tries to do as many levels as possible. Like, it gets super frustrating, and he's notorious for chucking these controllers for the Wii U, and he's done it. He's thrown it. It's hit the desk, come back, and like gave him a black eye, busted his lip.
Damn.
I mean, and he's done this several times. So there's one episode where he's playing. He's almost done doing like 100 levels in a row, and he ends up dying like 3 before he breaks the controller. And he just looks at the camera. He opens a drawer and pulls out another one brand new in the box. Opens it like where it dies at the same point again. Breaks it. Opens the drawer again and pulls out another one. I was like, oh, he's prepared.
Yeah.
He's ready.
All right, I got one. AO Vapes has been sending me stuff, and they're good, so I got to keep using them. So, what do you call 2 guys hanging on a window?
What?
Kurt and Rod. Kurt and Rod. Get it?
Oh my god.
That was not bad.
Hey, well, that was pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I had. I laughed. I like it. Cheesier the better. I just see like me and Nick always have good conversations, and then I open my mouth with stuff like that, and I can see him like, maybe I'm not that good of friends with them.
No, man, it's just because I'm lactose intolerant. I can't handle all the cheesiness.
Oh,
Gotcha.
Did I miss it?
That one's for
Yes,
Yeah.
you missed it.
You have to watch the replay now.
Yeah, you have to watch the replay. Get his watch hours up. Let's help him out.
right after
Yeah,
you
there
give
you
this
go.
video a thumbs up.
Yeah. And you
Don't
subscribe.
forget to smash the fuck out of that like button.
The fuck?
All right.
Don't
yeah,
forget
I'm
to
gonna
subscribe
go.
and hit the bell.
My family will be here shortly.
They can't know what you do in the dark.
Yeah.
No. Rowan's tired. He wants to see his dad. So, like they'll be in the driveway soon, and I'll go out and get him out of his car seat. The whole dad spiel, as
Yeah.
most
Yep.
of us know.
Yeah.
So yeah. But fellas, have
Well,
a
thanks
wonderful
for-
night.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
coming,
for
Dan.
letting me show my face on here.
Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, we're always happy to have you, Dan.
That makes my heart happy. You guys make my heart happy. Remember
Make my
that.
loins happy.
Hey, 6 to 12, man. 6 to 12 every time I see you.
6 to 10. That's right. Just went from 6 to midnight.
Fucking daylight saving just came early, motherfucker.
Fellas, take care. Have a good night.
Bye,
Good
Dan.
night, dude.
All right.
Peace.
So I just opened this Tropic of Thunder. If no
Ooh.
one's tried it, this stuff is really good.
Stone's good.
Dude, it tastes like I don't know. It tastes like an e-liquid.
I had one by
Go
I had
ahead.
one by them that was a Mexican chocolate stout.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Jokaveza. Oh my God.
It's
That is,
crazy.
I do not like beer. I don't like drinking in general, but I will throw down with some Jokaveza. And the only place that carries it is where Clown works.
It's good
So,
shit, man.
and it just so happened just one night he was working and he was stalking and he sent me a picture of this beer. He was like, "Hey, this sounds like something you'd be into," and I'm like, "No, that's my favorite. Like I'm on my way. Like I'll wait at the parking lot till you open." Oh, it's so good, so good. If you are of legal alcohol consumption age, I highly recommend Jokaveza.
And
So
it's a
before
weird
we
thing
get
because
to,
it's like a chocolate stout, but there's chili in it too.
oh, dude,
Yeah.
that's got to be good then.
Oh, it's hella good.
Damn, now I need to go try it. So before we get to Poon Sauce, I wanted to say one of my good buddies, like Thick Nick said, Angela always just sits back and watches all the games. That's how I always was. And one of my buddies, like, dude, I could watch him. He would sit. I could watch him all night, and I'd just be like, dude, how do you do that? He would sit there and like 720 and throwing knives. So when I'm like, how'd you do that? He's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And just like quick scope. I'm like, dude, I can't even hit someone like scoping, like sitting there watching, and then shoot him. I miss him. This guy just quick scope, boom. I'm like, how do you do all this? He's like,
Adderall.
oh,
Adderall.
dude, I don't know what he did, but this motherfucker
I didn't know
was good.
Adderall
Like,
sponsored MLG.
Yeah.
Does now.
any game he ever played, it was good. And then like we played the new Call of Duty not that long ago. I can't remember what it is, but like there's like zombie and like zombie like dogs and tiger freaking things for the zombie mode on it,
Yeah.
and it's like stupid crazy. And we were like YouTube and stuff. Like you can hit this gong. I was running over there. I'd go hit the gong real quick. I'd run back. I'm like, you better run away.
Mhm.
But, man, that's an intense game. But go ahead, Poon Sauce. What kind of tattoos do you have, and
Oh,
what's your next ideas?
well, like I said before, I don't know what makes you think I have tattoos that I ever wanted tattoos or anything, but fuck it, that joke won't last forever. I have a few. Yeah, I have a few. Wanting more. I think, let's see if I can freaking make my legs stretch. I'll show you my first ever tattoo. I'll do it in order of which I got.
Here,
So,
I think done first. I got mine done first too.
that guy.
That's pretty cool.
It's a treble clef with a rose in it.
In
I'm
any
like a really-
particular reason, or just?
I'm a really big music fan, and I wanted to like do something with like nature and music because I love both. So I chose that one as my first tattoo. I got that in Michigan, I think, when I was seeing a girl that lived out there. So like I used to make the trips and got my first tattoo out there. And then my second tattoo, God damn it, everything's opposite with this guy. I just wanted something more like traditional, like classic kind of things. So that was my second color tattoo. And then I got this guy afterwards. I know you saw the nipples, okay? Don't get too erect over there. And this one was like at like a darker place in my life. I was in like a really not so good place, so I wanted to like get a tattoo to like represent how I felt. And so something that was like darker and more morbid kind of thing I wanted to get, and just so I could like trademark a moment in my life kind of thing. And then the coup de grace, what people are telling me is the masterpiece of what I have, which was my most expensive and time-consuming tattoo, multiple sessions of tattoos, is this. My sleeve. My Edgar Allan Poe sleeve. I'm a huge Edgar Allan Poe fan, so
Damn. How long did that take?
it was 3 sessions of 8 hours.
Damn.
Dang.
And
day.
It was a lot of pain. Like the first session was the Raven, the Bust, I believe. What else was it? I think what's the Heart? I think the Heart was on there too, and then like most of the pieces were on there first. And I forgot what he did separate. I don't remember.
Like, did he do like a bunch of outlines and then go through and do all the shading like the next session and stuff
Oh,
like
like
that?
because like my whole arm is like supposed to be like floorboard.
Mm-hmm.
So that was that, and this part was like the most. And then that was done like at the last session. Poe himself,
That's
and
cool.
then it just the last session was just pure pain. It was all it was. It was like because it's where it's filling all like the
Mhm.
the bump, that right there. Yeah, never again. Even though I probably will, it will happen again on the other arm. But
About to say you only have 2 chances, man. So
yeah, I was like, I only have to go through it twice. So, and then not that the most second, I think the most painful part was this guy right here,
yeah, that
right fucking there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, stupid.
Yeah, it's right on the sternum.
That's straight bone. So literally, when they were tattooing it, I literally felt each individual. You know, like when the needle goes really quick, I felt it like this.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Each
could
individual,
you hear it echo in your skull?
I felt it throughout my entire body.
Oh,
Once it hits the middle, you feel it in your head. It's like,
That
oh my
first initial
god.
like needle hitting it, I was like, "Oh, this is a bad idea! Bad idea!"
maybe I could back out.
Like, nope, there's no going back now. Fuck it, let's do this.
Just this weird, massive like thing on your chest. What happened there?
I was a bitch. And then ones that I have planned, then I want to get my next one. I think I probably want to get done is my back piece,
Mm.
which I'm gonna do an American Eagle because my grandfather served, and I wanted to be like a dedication to my grandfather that passed, and he served in the military and everything too. So he was in the Air Force. So I wanted the Eagle to be like soaring. I wanted it to be holding his dog tags, and along with a fishing rod with his initials like engraved in the wood of the handle.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
And maybe I was thinking of like on the I don't know if I was thinking of like as like on the lure, maybe like something hanging from like the hook would be something Air Force related. Like maybe I don't know. I had a couple ideas.
Did your grandpa like have a favorite beverage, like a favorite beer or anything?
Now the only thing he really didn't drink a lot. The only time I ever saw him drink, he was drinking Miller Lite, and I'm not getting anything Miller Lite related tattooed on me because
No. I mean, like if he was a dedicated like Coca-Cola guy or a Pepsi guy or an Arnold Palmer or you know what I mean.
Not that I remember.
So you in the hook, you should do something like one of his favorite things. You know, hook that he hooked.
Yeah, that's
Like
pretty cool.
I love tattoos like that. I had a boxer growing up that I had for most of my life. He was 17 when he passed, and his name was Duke, and I always wanted to get a pair of boxing gloves that said Duke where it would say like Everlast on it. And I probably still like will. I mean, I've got all this like extra, real estate.
This extra territory here that
Yeah, to get it, like marked upon. So, but that was like my dog. No, we are not wanting
No.
Poon to get a Miller
No.
Lite tattoo. we're 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 not doing that, Shane. That's messed up. Just
wait, did you fucking you motherfucker? We're not doing that as the extra.
I would get a just for shits and giggles. If I go if / when I get to Chicago, I want to get a little can of Miller Lite tattooed on my big toe with you.
Oh my god. Poon sauce Miller Poon sauce no it has to be Poon sauce Miller Light. No, or like Poon Miller Mix McLight or something like that.
I got it.
Pooh Miller light sauce.
It's
Tongue
getting out
twister
of
for you.
Out of hand.
There you go.
So Shane, do you
Yeah,
got any tattoo ideas, or you have any tattoos?
I have no tattoos. I've always wanted one, but I've never really got one. But what I would really like is I like the biomechanical, kind of the Terminator looking, and I've always wanted to
That's
get
cool.
that where it's a shoulder piece. I'm kind of work in an office, so I can't really have stuff out in the open. The company requires it all to be covered, so I would have to have it from the sleeve, shirt sleeve up. So, but I'd love to get a shoulder piece, just a biomechanical shoulder.
Pretty cool.
That's cool. Yeah, speaking of that, I had a teacher, because teachers, they all have to cover theirs up. So every day he was an athletics teacher. So he had to wear pants. And even whenever he was coaching, he had to wear sweatpants all day and long sleeve shirts.
Mm-hmm. Year round.
Thick Nick.
I swear to God, if I get something in the mail saying Miller Lite wants to sponsor me, I'm literally
Let's
moving out of the country.
let's all just mail him a Miller Lite.
Yeah.
But and then he ended up getting a neck tattoo. He got an eagle that goes up his neck, and like he had to like try to cover that too. So I mean,
Just
like I was
imagine
like,
I'm wearing
dude,
like freaking sweatpants, like in a turtleneck.
yeah, I'm like, how do you coach? You have to wear sweatpants every day. He's like, I wear long socks and I just unzip them. Like, it's the same thing, dude. It's the same thing.
As you said that, it made me think of something. What if there was such thing as zippable socks?
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Invention
Break this
time.
down for me because I'm curious because I know how I'm visioning it. I want to know how you're envisioning it.
I feel like I would think of it as like a pair of like pantyhose, kind of, but just with like the right down the side of like the heel and everything, just had that long, freaking thick metal zipper, like the
Okay,
one
yeah.
like a fucking like one of those crazy coats.
I'm on board with that because I have like ridiculously muscular calves from number one carrying all this weight around for this long, and two because I used to have to walk to work growing up, and that was 8 miles one way uphill in the snow in Texas. So it's
Without a paddle.
102 degrees outside, 3 feet of snow, and so my issue is, like they have like really cool socks that have like pizza on it, or like it just says "fuck you" all over.
I was wearing Hey Arnold socks today.
Right, like I want to wear those. I can't because my calf muscle is the size of a toddler. So if there were zippable socks, I could pull them up and then zip them. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like knee-high boots. You know what I'm talking about?
Some thigh highs. You want some thigh highs, Thick Nick?
If they had cool designs on them, because I always rock cargo shorts.
Yep.
So, I finally got a pair of shoes that are just super fucking comfortable, and that's all I want to wear. That are flip-flops, and I'm not going to wear socks with my flippy floppies. So I want to rock some cool socks.
Nick would try to put Hey Arnold socks on. It would go from football head to straight football.
It wouldn't be Hey Arnold. It would be Hey Arnold.
So, like Poon Sauce, I'm gonna try to go in order of my tattoos. It's gonna take a little maneuvering, but my first ones. Can you see that? It says, "Oh wait, wrong way."
What if it like something right there just said "no fat chicks" or something?
It said, "Feet don't fail me now," and I got that like my senior year, and I got that from a buddy who was like, "Hey man, I used a tattoo gun before." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, dude, just do it, man. I'm cool." And this little thing that my tattoo artist like went over and like touched up, and it took him like maybe 10 minutes. Took this guy like 2 hours. So it wasn't a fun time with that. But that was my first one. And that just started everything. And then I went and I got this right here. I got two
Dang.
Bible verses. And then I got family down this side. And I was still in high school for that. And the Bible verses weren't that bad. Where it says family, where he pretty much just outlined it real quick. And then it's just straight shading to get all that in there. I was like, oh my God, can this be done? And it just
Shading
sucked.
is the worst if you think about it too, because instead of going over one spot repeatedly like you're coloring in a coloring book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, your foot tattoos is just such a Texan thing. Just like, hey man, I got a tattoo gun. Fuck yeah. Like,
Pretty much. Pretty much. I always wonder, I'm like, if he wanted to done that for me, would I have had tattoos now? Which I
I
probably would have.
sharpened up a paper clip and I got some ink out of this old pen I used to have. And then I put a rubber band around like a BB gun or something. I don't know. And it just made beep, 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 beep.
No, his first one was actually made out of Legos and like a mechanical pencil or something like that. And
There
I
you
was
go.
like,
Fucking
But-
MacGyver.
I didn't get tattooed by that one. My buddy did. I didn't. So I was like, okay, whatever. As long as you have a real tattoo gun, I'll do it.
And it was all held together by a piece of gum.
There you go.
yeah.
So then my next one was I got 3 roses because never really knew my dad and my family. So one of the roses for my mom, and then my sister, my brother, because they're big influences in my life. And I just wanted to get 3 roses for the people who mean the most to me in my life at that time. So I got the 3 roses for them. And then next, I got this as the graduation present. Or no, I got this first, I think. But it says, God would never give you anything he thinks you, God would never give you anything you could not handle. So I really wanted that quote just because, like, a lot of people go through hard times. A lot of people go through hard times. So that's one of the things I really wanted to get was, if you're going through a hard time, just look at your arm and say, hey, if you couldn't handle this, he wouldn't throw this at you. So I wanted to get that. And then next, I got the roses. And then I got my mom's birthday on the back of my arm. And when I came home with this, she was like, what the hell is that? I was like, another tattoo. She's like, you're so stupid, blah, blah, blah. I told you not to get no more tattoos. And then I showed her like what it was. And she just like, fuck you. And then walked away and started crying. I was like, wait, what? And then she came back later on. She's like, it's really nice you got that, but you don't need to do that. I'm like, well, I mean, you mean a lot to me. So I got that. And then I went and got this angel fighting a demon. I don't know if I can see it that well. And then I got respect and ambition on my wrist because always respect the ambition. And if you don't have any ambition in life, then there's no real meaning.
But if somebody
And you also-
stole your book bag,
See, that's the thing is, I got a lot of word tattoos at the beginning. My buddy was like, dude, you need to get some pictures because if not, you're going to look like a book. I'm like,
I'll be
you
right
know what?
back.
That's a good idea. Go ahead. So then next after that, I went and I got, I don't know what I got next. I would say this. Me and, how do you put it there? I'll stand up. It's a duck, a fish, a deer, and then a hook and an arrow and another hook.
looks like the
And
Saints
me,
logo.
buddy, we got that, and it's called the Sportsman something. But me and my buddy got that because him and his dad taught me how to hunt, taught me how to do all this stuff. 'Cause like I said, I never really had a dad in my life, so they're the ones who really taught me how to like use guns, hunt, and all this other stuff. So that was something that I thought was really cool. So he was like, "Hey man, what about this?" I'm like, yeah, sure, let's both get it. And we got on Friday the 13th, so that was a really cool thing. And then next, I went and I did a 12-hour tap out, which was pretty fun. And first, I went and I did this. Oh wait, never mind. I got the words right here before my arms, I think. Yeah. So I got these words before my arms, and it says, "You only live once." And I got that before the damn song came out. I got YOLO before the song came out, and then the song came out, and my teacher, the one who had the neck tattoo, was like, You could have got YOLO. It'd probably been cheaper, right? So yeah. And then I got so for the 12-hour tap out, I got wings underneath of it on both sides, and let me just tell you, they freaking hurt because they go like way up in here.
God.
They're
Oh,
they're they were terrible, and they go right into your sternum. And then he was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just need one break." And that's the thing I started out with. Like, yeah, let's just get this out of the way. We'll be fine. And then like an hour and a half in, he pulls out the white. I'm like, "What are you doing with that?" He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go over all the other areas that I want to like touch up and put the white in there to have like a good pop." I'm like, "So all the areas that have been healing, you want to put white in now?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." I'm like, "Oh shit. All right, go right ahead." But it just sucked. And then I got musical notes over here on this side because I've always been a huge fan of music. I got this during the tap out, Illuminati. I'm
Well,
always
got
been a
like a
bit. I've
snack or
always been.
something if you were gonna just like start stripping for us. Shit.
See, I was gonna ask, didn't Fagan strips? I mean, I guess it's okay for me.
I mean, in all honesty, with as many tattoos as you have, it would make sense for you to just go shirtless and like take a couple steps back.
See, we'll just go shirtless. But I back on though.
Well, he's had a couple drinks, so
Yeah. But the Illuminati, I got that during the tap out also. I've really been a huge history buff, so that was one thing I really wanted was the all the history, the bad and good history around it. That's something I really wanted. So I've always been really fascinated by history, and this is one of the pieces that really caught my eye. And then next, I got the Lone Star tattoo.
Yeah, buddy.
I didn't get the beer in there, but I got Lone Star.
I thought.
So
Wait, isn't that a steakhouse?
No, dude, it's a beer in Texas.
Fuck, man.
Lone Star beer.
Or you got a fucking steakhouse tattooed on your arm, man.
and then I got the outline of Texas on my elbow, which I thought it was gonna be terrible, and it wasn't honestly that bad. It was,
Yeah, because it went around the entire painful part.
yeah.
That's
But
good.
then I got my daughter's name, her date of birth underneath. I got a casket, and it says "Until my last breath," and that was pretty much like a tribute to like anyone I love. Is I'll love you and you'll be within my heart until my last breath, pretty much. And then I got my daughter's footprint, and I have this blank space right here where I need to get her handprint, but I haven't been back in a while, so I need to finish up this sleeve. And then I got the "Don't Tread on Me." This is something that he like most of these tattoos he hand drew, and then like some of the word tattoos like this one on my chest, he sat there and like free-handed it. So I mean, he's like amazing with words. But I got the "Don't Tread on Me" with how I wanted it, and then I got this little duck right here, and it's actually a brand. It's called Drake, and it was one of my it's my favorite clothing brand for like hunting, and I've always really liked the logo, and I really like duck hunting. So I was
You're
like, you know
like
what?
a poster
Let's go
child
get
of
it.
just Texas.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, so that's all my tattoos. But I got a bunch more in mind. Like I have a whole leg piece thought out of I want or not a leg piece, like ankle to knees of just like one half, and yes, this is very Texas like poon sauce, but one half like the shin part is gonna be all like a two people fishing on a boat, and then it's gonna have the sunrise or no the sunset, and then on the backside is gonna be two people duck hunting in like the brush behind it, and it's gonna be sunrise. So that's something I wanted because that's gonna be probably my first color piece because I want all the color from the sun, from sunrise, sunset. Because I mean, if y'all have never been to Texas and y'all see sunrise and sunset here, there's some pretty cool colors that you get. You get like
You should
pinks,
get a tramp
purples.
stamp that says "Remember the Alamo."
I already got that. I just didn't want to show you.
No, it should just be the top part of the mission, the iconic piece that everybody knows, and just put that there.
Yeah.
Like that would be good.
But then I had one more idea, and then I'm pretty much out of ideas by now. But if I didn't get the one on my arm, I probably would have already had this. But I seen it on the guy's neck, and it was a devil going up and like putting his hand like this to like whisper in the guy's ear, and then an angel or a god whispering in the other ear. I'm like, that'd be badass to get, but I don't want a neck tattoo because then I'll get yelled at and I'd probably get beat. So I'm probably gonna do it on like the back of my shoulders.
Never mind. I'm gonna shut up.
But I'd probably do it on the back of my shoulders. But I mean, that's one of my other ideas.
Well, people text us sometimes. They really do.
The fuck is wrong with you, Corey?
I don't know, man.
So you touched on music for a second, and not to jump on like the green room's Kool-Aid or anything, but what's a few bands that you like absolutely just love, like, or you know what? Hold on, let me refine that. What are some bands that you absolutely love that most people don't know that you love?
Oh,
Oh.
it's not that most people don't know I love, but it's most people don't know of them. And every time Nick Grim Green does his I don't know are we allowed to say it on here? His Patreon stream or whatever. If you're a Patreon of him, you'll know what I'm talking about. But every time he does that, he always says, "Oh, what music should I listen to? What music? What band?" I always put it in the damn chat. I put it in the chat today on the green rooms. But Shane Smith and the Saints, if y'all have never heard of them, listen to them. Like I think it was Sean Typhon. He says he likes whenever stories are told inside of a song. These people, like a lot of their songs are all story based, like the old coal mines, hurricanes in New Orleans, and just stuff like that. So Shane Smith and the Saints, they are a Texas country band, and they are a like folk kind of Texas country band, but they're not this typical country you see now where it's like a pop beat to like a country song, and I don't deal with
Yeah,
that
that's
very
not
well.
country. That's
No.
that's pop music with a twang.
And the thing is, Nick, you might know where this place is, but they actually started in Kaufman, Texas.
Oh yeah.
And then they eventually went on and found some more players of their band in Austin, so they played there a lot. But they go to Fort Worth a lot. And the first time I actually saw them, a buddy of mine took me out there the day or the weekend before their second album dropped. And ever since then, like I've just been in love with them. And like every time I go somewhere and they're there, I'm like, "Hey man, what's up?" And they know me and they're like, "Oh man, well, it's been a while since we've seen." Cool because they kind of get to know their crowd. And it went from like, "Hey, we're doing free shows in Fort Worth and in Dallas" to, "Hey, we're traveling the world and we're going to Ireland for a big, huge festival." And not just the US, but like all around the world. I'm like, dude, that's freaking crazy. And they're just like a really good, they're a really good people also.
Yeah, dude, I love that kind of stuff. Like that's uh, most of the time I'm known as like the metalhead, and Michelle Lynn and I actually my favorite type of music, hands down, is blues and jazz. Like that is what I primarily listen to. Like when I'm like if I'm back here recording or editing something or just messing around on the computer, I'm bumping something like that. And I also really love like folk music.
Yeah.
So and even like good what I call country, like anything before 1990.
Like Hank Williams and Willie and
Yeah, man,
Waylon.
Bo
Oh,
Cephas, the Highwaymen. Like I just taught myself how to play Folsom Prison Blues on guitar, and I'm so
nice.
proud. That's the first song in 15 years since I've been trying to learn guitar that I learned, and it was solely by accident. Angela was sitting here working, and we have another chair off to the side, and I was just sitting there playing on the guitar, and I was like, "Oh, what's this?" Nick learned something. But I love like indie folk music, like Dave Matthews Band, um, and that's really what I listen to a lot. I just know a lot about metal because for a long time that was all that I listened to. And then when I got older, number one, when I had an infant, I couldn't, cruise around, blaring like Cannibal Corpse,
Yeah, yeah.
hurt his ears. So it'd be like really light alternative and stuff like that, like coffee house music, singer songwriter Neil Young,
Yeah,
stuff like that. And a lot of people don't know that about me. Like I come off as very like my day to day appearance is either like I look super metal as fuck, or I look like I am just straight out of like an NWA video. Got like a flat bill cap, oversized t-shirt, baggy jeans. I've got a pair of Jordans that I wear. Jordan 1s, all right?
Jordan 1s are the
Ones.
best way.
And but I mean, it's just I just dress like right now it's gym shorts, sleeveless, flip-flops,
Yeah,
And other than that, I wear like scrubs. So, it's hard. It's hard to take that nurse seriously when you pull up and you've got like Slayer banging out the back of a '92 Cabriolet, Stig hanging out my mouth. I'm like, nerd. I'm gonna take care of you today.
but yeah, like if you want some like rock Texas country, definitely listen to like Co Wetzel. He's a really good band, and they're bumping like crazy. Like they're coming up like it's nothing.
Is 92.1 still the station, Hank FM?
Yes.
Okay. See that I always liked them when I lived out in Burleson. And anybody that's watching that's not in or from Texas has no idea what we're talking about.
95.9,
like
The Wolf. No, that's not 95.9. 95.9.
95.5.
Yeah, no, 95.9. 95.9, The Ranch. Yeah.
So the rant. I was always a Hank FM guy because they play the older country.
Yeah.
Like I like the Johnny Paycheck, David Allen Co.
Mhm.
And not all David Allen Co. Just the honestly like the singles, because there's some shit that he did that I was like, oh no, sir. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But and I love Pantera. Like that to me, like it's metal, but like it's not like I can wake up to that. And I'm like, oh yeah, just as in whiskey and weed and Slayer, it's goddamn electric. Time to start my day. I mean, there's so much good music out there, and watching the Green Room made me go, man, seeing like the collectiveness of what everybody is listening to is so refreshing, and not just being stuck in a single genre of like, oh no, man, metal or nothing. Like, no, dude, like listen to Pink Floyd, listen to DMX. I love Insane Clown Posse. I do. I'll be the first one to admit it, and I like all of it. I listen to the new stuff. Magnets. How do they work?
Dude, like for me, it's older rap. It's not the newer rap's okay. There's some songs, but the older rap to me and the older country is really good. But then like the Texas country is like the old country also.
Well, yeah, man. Like Texas, we got it made though. We got like Pat Green. You know what I'm saying? Like we got good Texas artists that can still put stuff out that doesn't have that pop backbeat, 3/4 timing. Like we got legit good musicians that come out of Austin and Houston and Fort Worth and Dallas. Like Texas is popping for music, and not just in country, but in rock in general. Like we have got some badass artists coming. But as far as a new rap group that is really good, Run the Jewels is out of this world, and it's not like the same shit you turn on and it's auto-tuned talking about taking Xanax and all that stupid shit. This is like political, taking over the world, like fuck the system kind of rap, and it's good. Two dudes, and they kill it.
Yeah, like you got rappers now named Little Xan, and it's like What?
Yeah, that shit's horrible, man. Because I mean, I look at it like what I was listening to growing up and how I felt like that was influential to my upbringing versus because even though like talking about like banging cars and hoes and all that shit, it still is better than sitting there and being like, oh yeah, man, I'm gonna take a whole bunch of Xanax. I'm like, no. Hold on, man. Jay-Z was talking about getting a Rolls Royce and popping bottles of Dom Perignon, not taking a narcotic that will kill you in
Yeah.
excess.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
He's talking about just living lavishly, not overdosing. Like there's a difference here, man. Like Tupac didn't overdose. He was murdered.
Yep.
Biggie didn't overdose. He was murdered. Snoop didn't overdose. Ice Cube didn't overdose. Ice-T didn't overdose. Like none of these people overdose. Like even Kid Rock, he had a substance abuse problem. He fixed that shit. He doesn't go around singing about that. The worst he does is talking about drinking beer, whiskey, and smoking weed. Like, I mean, and that's just because he's a good old boy from Detroit, which makes no sense to me at all. But, and I will say this right now, in the top 3 greatest concerts I've ever been to, Kid Rock is in that list. And I don't follow him massively. I don't think his politics are very good, but he is one of the best musicians I have ever seen.
There's a rapper that I've been kind of getting into thanks to Stan. He's like a YouTube rapper, Tom McDonald.
Does he have to do with all the really shitty prison tattoos?
Yeah.
See, I've seen him, but I haven't heard him.
Like he freaking goes like hard as fuck.
Like how like Eminem Rap God hard, or
Pretty much like insulting your life if you're going at him hard. Pretty much like if anybody said anything bad about him, he'd like make a song about it, and then he just like shut them up. There's a song that he has called "Straight White Male." Holy crap, man!
see, I got an issue with stuff like that. Like white rappers don't get a chance to talk about being oppressed and shit. I'm assuming that's what he's going for there.
I don't know, but it's. Are you gonna listen to it?
It's ironically enough, like my Facebook's pulled up, and it's either somebody had posted it. It wasn't Stan, it was somebody else. It was like, oh man, this shit goes hard. I'm like, it reminds me of what's his name, Lucas Joyner. Who is that cat? That did the like I'm not racist or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Nah.
A rapper?
Okay. Yeah, I can't remember. God, it was controversial for like the first 10 minutes until people realized it was a black dude rapping, and then they were cool with it. I mean, dude, people get superficial about shit. They think because of a particular situation that I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this kindly. People think because of a certain situation, it enables everybody to be able to have an opinion that's valid on it. Like everybody is entitled to an opinion, but being able to a black dude speaking on the behalf of like white Trump supporters doesn't work. Just like a duo rapping about supporting Bernie Sanders wouldn't work for me. Like because they're not me. They just like you know what I'm saying? Like you can have a song that you're like, oh yeah, man, I'm with this, I feel this. But they're gonna say or do something that is not exactly what you agree with. And then you end up getting lumped in with it. So like when Face Tattoo McGee comes out and he's like straight white male, well, I'm a straight white male, but I'm not going to subscribe to this cat's belief unless he's like, well, we need to get more vegetables in school and we need to teach kids how to balance checkbooks. Like, nobody wants to rap about that. Like, nobody wants to talk about like actual, issues and situations and stuff like that. And I think that's music in general. I think a lot of people are afraid to actually tackle really heavy subjects. And that's one of the things that you go back to older music, particularly blues or jazz musicians in the 30s and 40s. You have a lot of them that sing about marijuana, and it's solely because they're being oppressed because of marijuana use. And if they were white people using it, then they would have been completely fine with it. But it was because the Surgeon General at the time was like, y'all can't have this. So they started singing about it.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that's where all the slang came from for marijuana, weed, everything. So I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not trying to sit here and turn it into a political cast version 2 or anything, but like it just frustrates me because like the dude gets a face tattoo and thinks he's got shit to say. I'm like, bro, unless you have actually been involved in politics and you're making your career out of that, which I doubt because you got the Nike logo on your fucking eyebrow. I mean, it's just, and I'm not saying judge folks based on appearance or anything like that, but it comes a point where you have to take somebody seriously. And I'm not going to take, Lil Zebra seriously over a well-dressed, well-spoken individual who has a track record of making songs about pointing out why the government's flawed or why people are flawed and stuff like that.
Right.
I mean, and that goes across the board. You could be a country musician, a metal musician, a rapper, a classical musician, anything across the board. People are going to treat you how you look. And when you decide to turn your face into a child's chalkboard, I'm going to have a hard time taking you seriously. Even if everything you say, I 100% am on board with. When I try to present that to somebody of any sort of respect and say, hey, man, this guy's speaking the truth, they're going to go, have you seen that motherfucker?
Yeah.
Like, I'll listen to it, though. Absolutely, I will.
And, that'll transition over into what we do as vape advocates. We have to present ourselves in a manner because they're going to judge us on the way we look whenever we go to those town hall meetings and things like that.
Absolutely.
Long sleeves.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, here's the deal. Tattoos are almost normal.
Yeah, nowadays.
Yes.
The issue is when you have tattoos that exceed the wrist line and the neck line.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not slinging any kind of shade towards Nick at all. I love his tattoos.
Dude, his Stormtrooper tattoo, I show that to everyone.
Oh, dude, it's sick as hell. With the roses on the side, it's fucking amazing.
I think it's badass.
But I mean, you have a very fucked up political climate across the board.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a lot of social issues that should take precedence over any sort of vaping issue. Now, a lot of people have a feeling that the right to vape pertains to human rights. It is our right to make that choice. Well, it is, but what it comes down to is you made that choice to smoke. The government is not going to see a cessation device as something that's viable when you made the choice to do something. Nobody made you do that.
Right.
So the only issue that I fall into is when you decide to do things like having safe injection sites as opposed to rehabilitation centers that work.
Mm-hmm.
We have an epidemic of smokers. We have people that smoke and then die from smoking related illnesses. That is just simply not acceptable. It's 2019. We have tons of medicine that, whether natural or man-made, that cure diseases that people thought, 50 years ago were horrendously lethal.
Right.
So having this ability and this technology to say, you smoke, you don't have to smoke, here's this, and the government saying, no, well, not even the government, a part of the government saying, no, we want to regulate this for, in my opinion, no reason other than the fact that we got too big and brought too much attention to ourselves.
Yep.
And the problem I have is that we have people that are fighting for this industry, that whether or not they are a part of advocacy organizations or individuals that are fighting, that are just making it significantly harder for us. What it comes down to, and I've talked to Texas Cloudtown about this before, is it's not necessarily about how we look. It's about how we present ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So we're standing outside the courthouse courthouse or the city hall or anywhere, we're blowing clouds and we're fuck this and fuck that and pulling up in Nissans and all this, or GTRs, let me rephrase that. You pull up in an Altima, nobody's going to turn their head. Depending on where you go, they might, but
Yeah.
and we have to present ourselves, you know. I mean, it like Shane, you live in Tennessee,
Alabama.
Sorry.
Yep. Well,
also
I'm from Tennessee.
Okay, so that's what I was thinking. There we go. So most people like I live in Texas. I do not believe I have a Texan accent at all. So in my area, for the people that I don't represent, but I'm usually the speaker, and it's simply because I'm eloquently spoken, and it's easy for me to get my point across, and it just is what it is.
Right.
Shane, I've heard you speak before. I love the Southern accent. I truly do, and you have a commanding voice. People listen. And it's just simple things like that you just have to say, and it's the same evidence as always. It's, look, this has a 5% inherent risk compared to traditional tobacco.
Right.
Would you rather take a chance with a FDA approved drug that has a side effect of suicide?
Exactly.
Or would you take a 5% inherent risk? That is an unknown risk, might I add. This 5% inherent risk of swallowing this motherfucker and choking.
Yeah.
And at that point, I'm like, did you really think you were going to last that long?
Yeah.
But I mean, we have people that are trying. The FDA is coming at us with the most stupid, ridiculous shit ever. The deeming regulations are just stupid, and like, I get it. Like, they're deeming regs, they're rules, they're not laws. I follow laws. I don't murder somebody because it's against the law. I don't run red lights because it's against the law. There is actual proof. There are statutes that state what I can and cannot do as a U.S. citizen. FDA said rules. I'm not going to follow your rules. I'm not going to not buy products post 8/8 because you said nothing can come out. Good luck, man. It's China. Your rules don't apply to them.
Exactly.
And even if for some reason, if you think the FTC is going to come in here and say, oh, no more importing of vapor products, they will break down and dismantle that shit and send it across 17,000 different packages, get it over here, get it reassembled, and then set up shop in the 7-Eleven if they have to. They are not going to stop because that is how they make their money. So either America has to create a complete independent status of trade without China, which is not going to happen regardless of who you elect, or the FDA is going to just have to get bent and realize that they really, really screwed up by trying to take on something like this. Because I'm sorry, I'm not trying to, get all fucking ranty or anything, man, but the FDA has no idea what the fuck they're doing with any of this, and it shows. And that's why you have so many local governments trying to do flavor bans.
People in the local governments don't even talking about. Like, most of the people don't even know the actual scientific facts about vaping. They're doing it because it was suggested to them, and it's a way for them to get more income in their pocket.
Right.
Well, right. It's all about money. It's anti-groups get their money through federal funding, so then they can turn around and go to your local city hall and say, these kids in school are juuling, 4 in 10. This is a direct quote from a woman that was at a hearing about vaping. 4 in 10 kids that use Juul will die. No, that's inaccurate.
Right.
10 out of those 10 kids will eventually die. Everybody will eventually die.
Yeah.
Your flawed science that is simply baseless is not going to work here. Like, the issue
you're not
is
proving
that
any scientific fact.
the issue is that the vape companies that are out here blowing money, buying the houses, buying the cars, pulling up. When you go to a convention and you see a booth and they have a bunch of half naked women and a Lamborghini there, they are the reason that this industry is in such jeopardy. Don't look at the labels. Look at how they spent their money.
Right.
Mhm.
Look at how they acted. Look and see if they paid their taxes.
Look how they advertise.
I mean, it's simple stuff like that. Let's break that down, man. How many of these multi-million-dollar companies do you think have actually paid their taxes? Like, in all honesty, what do you guys think?
I'd say probably less than 10%.
I was gonna say 10%.
Yeah.
Corey, what do you think?
It's a hard thing to like actually put my finger on because we don't know. I mean, they could be. They could have gotten so much profit to where it's like, okay, they can keep up with their taxes and all that stuff, and they still have all that extra money that they can do that. I don't know. I can't make a full assumption of if they did or not.
Let me just drop money. Like this is just straight up fact. To create a bottle of liquid, it's about $3.
Mhm.
Wholesale is about 10. MSRP is 20. So for every bottle of juice you're selling, you're making about $6. Let's use Dripmore for example, because they're one of the biggest selling liquid manufacturers on the market, thanks to everybody trying to blacklist them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't care what anybody vapes, as long as you're not smoking.
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
Yeah.
So if you have a big old cartoon penis on it, guess what? I don't give a shit. I don't. $6 a bottle, and they have a Lamborghini. All right, and let's say it's not a Aventador, so not a $1.8 million car. Let's say a Murcielago, $625,000. Okay, well, there's no way they paid cash for it because that would have been a whole bunch of red flags all over the damn place. So let's say they financed it. They financed a $625,000 car, assuming their credit is about a 750 or higher and an interest rate of 4.99% or less. You're looking at about a $1,400 a month car payment, okay? Not including insurance. So insurance meaning anybody who lives in the same house as this person has to be covered on the vehicle that is of driving age or older. So let's say another $300 for insurance. So we're looking at almost $2,000 a month for this car. It makes perfect sense that they could afford the car. $2,000 a month, your juice is in every shop, a 7-Eleven, it's all over the damn place. Sure, man, I can get behind that. Your juice is going to tail off though. And in about 3 months, juice, any product in vaping begins to kind of fade into obscurity because we have so many products that come out onto the market so frequently.
It's so flooded.
So, oh God, yeah, it's great when you want to go buy something.
Yeah.
But as a manufacturer, you're screwed because you have to be able to be like, this bottle is better than the ones to the left, right, above it, and below it.
Right.
And I have to justify this price tag. Well, it just so happens I like weird profile. So I'm like, yeah, ricotta cheese, baked pear. Yeah, I'm all for that.
Why not?
Yeah. So you have, that's $24,000 a month in car payments and insurance. So that's you're 25% of the way to $100,000. There's no way that you're selling enough bottles in the U.S. or otherwise to be able to afford that vehicle, the insurance, on top of paying the taxes. The taxes that you pay is about 15% of whatever it is that you're selling. So if you're selling, because before this new tariff bullshit, you didn't pay tax on wholesale and you paid it afterwards. So now it's like about 15%. I'm kind of just grabbing numbers there. There's no way that these companies are able to afford this, pay their taxes, and be on the up and up. It's not a matter of, oh, they didn't give money to this person for advocacy. That has nothing to do with that.
Right.
When you are a multi-million-dollar company, instead of buying a Lamborghini and flexing real hard like anybody gives a shit, like, I'm sorry, if you have to have a half naked woman and a car that I will never ever be able to afford, then your product is not good. Period. If you have to have something at your booth that catches my eye, either because it's sexually arousing or it is mechanically appealing,
Mm-hmm.
you do not have a good product. Period.
Right.
Because
You
you're
look at
relying on something else to get the people over, not
Yeah.
the product itself.
and I will sit here and I will tell you as the day is long, I will use Transistor as an example. They have a nice, colorful booth that is colored to the themes of their products.
Mm-hmm.
They have a center display where all their liquids are available to be sampled. And then they have their little backstock of where, you if you buy a bottle of juice, they pull it from and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was about to ask that. How does Transistor look? Because I know Poon Sauce goes to
Okay,
conventions
let me
with
tell
them.
you
'Cause
guys.
I've never been to a
I'm going to
convention,
tell you
but
guys a little bit of a story. So I don't know if you guys have noticed in the past that Pandora Blue used to have Transistor pictures and all that stuff, and Turbo used to do stuff with Transistor as well. Well, we met them at Vape Showcase St. Louis in 2017, I believe it was. Or maybe it would have been January 2018 in St. Louis, and what they didn't come up there dressing like their pictures and stuff. She didn't wear any kind of skanky outfit. She was literally wearing hoodie, sweatpants, hair up. And Turbo was just like an average dude fucking sitting there with like a fucking tube mod and freaking just tricky the whole fucking time. They looked like average people. So we, of course, you know who they are and everything. And then, so you get to actually talk to them. It's like, okay. Well, like when we actually talked to Turbo, he was a really fucking down to earth dude. Really down to earth. Like he's just a really nice guy. So when they had the opportunity to be like, hey, let's give this a shot. It's some kind of promotion. The Pandora thing didn't come out because it was for a little bit, then it flared off. But for me, Turbo's promotion was actually nice. It was cool. You get a guy covered in tattoos, fucking buff as shit, with a freaking tube mod blowing tricks, and you just see like a fucking transistor bottle going through an O. It's creative. It'll catch the eye. It's the kind of promotion that I would say isn't any kind of sexually appealing or appealing to any kind of mechanical kind of.
Well, I mean, there's a difference here. I remember Geico commercials because of the cute little pig with the pinwheel saying
Yeah.
"wee."
Yeah.
I remember that because I'm like, okay, that's adorable.
Mhm.
I don't use Geico, but I think it's cute. Advertising is not I'm trying to figure out how to advertising a product like Instagram is basically just commercials.
Mhm.
I mean, we just go through and we double tap commercials.
Yeah.
That's all that is. If you have to do some like the thing with Turbo only has sex appeal to people that find him attractive.
Yeah.
I know him personally, and he's a great fucking dude. Or anything, you have to do something, create a gimmick to attract an audience. It's not good.
Like what Transistor usually does with what they do, they introduce humor into it as well. Like the last shows we do, we have this giant heavy set dude doing the splits with a really short tank top with his belly button sticking out. It's totally not sexually appealing to anything.
Right.
It's just
Hey,
something that
you don't know what I'm into.
It's an eye catcher. It really is. It's something that's like, okay, this isn't something you normally see. It's something that you look over there and like, is that a fucking fat dude doing the splits? Let's go see what the fuck this is all about.
Right.
And how we do our displays is unique. We create our own the stands we do it on. We created those ourselves. Well, the owner did. He has his own like pretty much shop at the mothership, which is what we call it, and everything he does himself. Everything you see at the show is 100% done by him. Everything's manufactured by him with like a 3D printer and like just duct tape.
Yeah, man. And yeah, dude, even if you guys had a big ass UFO that you walked into, it fits to the brand. There's
UFO. We used to have the half UFO where we used to test the juices on. That thing was just a pain in the ass to travel with.
Right. And the difference here is that you have something that's entertaining for the purpose to complement the product.
Yeah.
Not a, oh hey, you can come win a Rolls Royce. You can come win this. You can feel important. It's like I compare it to Axe body spray. It's horrible. It's smelly. It's obnoxious, and it's aimed for 16-year-olds. Like having a Lamborghini is not going to get you laid, and using this e-liquid sure as shit is not going to help you do anything. I mean, it is not the people that have like Craving Vapor has one of the largest displays I've ever seen at Vape Showcase, and it is never ever a spectacle. It's a bunch of carpet cases and essentially salespeople to help you make your $1,000 stab wood purchase. Like, and that's it. Their gimmick is for the shows. They'll do a special that show edition. So, and that's fine. You know, I mean, it's incredibly frustrating because the FDA sends people to walk these shows. The first show I went to after the deeming regs was dropped, the FDA was walking around with clipboards. And the whole time I was thinking, wow, this is really stupid on their part. But I started to realize, oh man, dude, they're actually looking at what the hell people are doing.
Yeah.
Like, this is not good. This is them looking at these booths and going, okay, they're using attractive women to sell a product. They're luring people in with giveaways, with cars, with stuff like that. And that's just simply not needed. Some of the best liquid I've ever had has come from a table with a cloth and some samples.
That's how Transistor started.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Well,
how
the other
Transistor-
thing that the FDA has to really pay attention to is they don't know if, say, Company X makes vape products. Well, that may be the fourth division of Company A that they're buying defense products from.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't know any of this, and they're going to start taxing the crap out of this vape product. Well, then that company can come back and say, oh, okay, well, you buy this from our parent company, we're going to up our price to take care of these taxes. You know, then what are they going to do?
I mean, look at Nevada. I mean, there are several major wholesalers out of Nevada, and they're facing a 30% tax.
Yep.
You know, I mean, and that is enough. It's very easy to say, okay, well, you just eat just 30%. Well,
No, 30%. That's 30% on each bottle, each mod, each little thing that is in that shop.
right.
You're a shop that has you're one of those shops that has over 100 different juice brands. You think of 30% of each, how much each of those hundreds of brand cost. So you probably have over 1,000 bottles in your shop. 30% of the price of each individual bottle. You're not going to be able to do that.
No.
And plus, think about if they introduced a floor tax as well, that you would have to pay a tax with the stuff that you have sitting on your shelves. Stuff that could have been sitting there for 3 months. Stuff you could have in a freaking discount bin.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's what New Jersey did.
Yeah.
You know, they introduced, I think it's like 10 cents per milliliter. So if you have 100 bottles, you know, there's what?
I'll tell you a little situation going around in my area that happened a few years back in Cook County, or I like to call it Crook County because they're a bunch of assholes. It's the worst county probably in the state. They did a tax on e-liquid where it was a 75-cent tax per mil of a bottle.
Wow.
So what they did is that all shops in Cook County now do Nick shots, because think about it. You're going to be paying that tax on a bottle this big, that's like a 0.5 milliliter, not even, instead of paying for the tax on an entire bottle
Smart.
Yeah.
with nicotine in it.
That's how
what they went off nicotine.
Yeah.
Louisiana does the same thing. I went out there for a vape shop event and to see Steel Panther. And
that's the reason why you see this as 0
nicotine.
milligram.
Oh my God.
0 milligram.
Mm-hmm.
because that was nicked up in a shop.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean the sapphire packs of nicotine it's substantially cheaper.
And it's good
You know,
nicotine. I think it's good nicotine.
yeah, I've never
I
had an
love
issue
the
with just
people over at
putting it in.
Sapphire. They're some of the nicest people I ever fucking met.
God, my phrasing on that was horrible, but I mean that, and it's. I like to be able to being able to get a bottle of zero and go. You know what? I want this to be a 1 milligram. I want this to just be something I could chain vape all day and not get Nick sick off of.
Like the
Mhm.
ones that
Like,
do even number. You can get a 2 milligram bottle of juice. You can easily freaking vape that all day and not get Nick sick at all.
I mean, that's like for conventions. Angela vapes zero exclusively for the convention because you're walking around, you're vaping nonchalantly. I mean, you don't even think about it. You'll go through 2, 3 different pairs of batteries, and if you're hitting a 3 or a 6 all day, you're going to get sick as hell.
Yep.
So,
Mhm.
like for me, I vape Salt Nick all day. So I'm just sitting there hitting that stig, hitting that stig, hitting that stig, and then I'll hit this, and it's a 3, and I'm like, whatever, man. Like I'm used to that amount of nicotine. The average person is not,
Right.
and so and all these taxes, man. Like just in general, I think taxation is stupid as shit. Like in Texas, our lottery goes to fix our roads and whatnot, or goes to schools, one of the two. And either way, our schools and our roads are both garbage. So I mean, it's
Mhm.
it's like, okay, so what's the point in doing this then? Then you have like smaller cities. There's a city called Arlington that's not too far from where I live. They introduced a 5 cent per mil tax, and they wanted to use that money to train their police officers to deal with people with mental disabilities. Now, that's not something I oppose, but why is it that vaping is singled out? Why can't you put a 5 cent per milligram tax on cigarettes or cigars or
Yeah.
fish water or Gatorade? It's because they want to single out vaping because they feel like they're not paying their debt to society. Well, the fact of the matter is, vaping is the one that's coming in and cleaning up all of our messes because we chose to become cigarette smokers or cigar smokers or pipe smokers or whatever. Vaping is saving lives and undoing what 100 years of tobacco use has done. And I don't blame big tobacco. I think blaming them is ignorant. And I think when they purchase companies and people get really upset is ignorant. They're not the enemy. They never have been the enemy. They were the enemy when they were hiding the fact that cigarettes were dangerous. But we should have known better because we're lighting something on fire and inhaling it. That's not good. When they were marketing it as a health benefit, yeah, they were the enemy there. They were blatantly lying when they knew there were cancer causing agents in this. But that's any carcinogen in general. As a person that works on a road, you are exposed to carcinogens when you're laying tar. I mean,
You're exposed to carcinogens when you burn meat.
Yeah,
oh,
when
yeah.
you grill. Yeah.
Yeah.
So vaping should not be targeted as the enemy here when it's the one cleaning up the mess. And big tobacco shouldn't be targeted
No.
either. We all made the decision to smoke. Nobody strapped us down at 13 years old and said, smoke,
Yeah.
smoke. Like even Joe Camel is appealing to minors. It's not. Like I remember when Joe Camel was popular. I remember when Joe Camel became not allowed on cigarette packs and advertisements and everything. I remember in dirty magazines when there were coupons for 5 packs of American Spirits for $1. Like I remember this stuff. None of this affected my decision to or not to smoke. I mean that I chose to smoke because one of my friends offered me a cigarette, and I said, "Yeah, okay. Well, I'm sure I've never had one. Why not?" That's all it took. That's not Philip Morris's fault. That's not R.J. Reynolds' fault. Now, they're by them choosing to invest money into vaping and making a product that is no different than what our favorite manufacturers are making, we should be commending those efforts and not being like, get that shit out of my store. No, 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 no. Hold on. Hear me out. Like, it's VGPG nicotine and sweetener. and artificial flavoring, the same stuff that's in Paramount, the same stuff that's in Artist Liquids, the same stuff that's in Okami, White Liquid. It's all the same shit. You just associate something negative with it, and that's. I had a really good discussion with the guys over at Blue at NVE, man, and they have the same vision as everybody else. They just want people to quit smoking. And they're not a big tobacco company. The company that owns them also owns a big tobacco company, and they also own like Tyson Chicken, and they also own Gain, and they also own latex companies. Like it's a holding company. It's to diversify a portfolio. Vaping's making a shit ton of money. If I was some old rich white dude, I would be purchasing vape companies as well, in addition to big tobacco, because no matter which one fails, you're going to have a winning hand.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. 'Cause, I mean, like, I don't know where I'm going with that.
too many.
But I mean, never mind. Now I remember.
Too many apple
Like
juices.
with Ruby Roo and how she defended Jewel. It came back to me. See, look, memory came back. But yeah, how she defended Jewel. I mean, like, the only problem I had with Jewel is not because it had all the bad stuff that go against them and all the other stuff like that, was because at the beginning they said they don't care, they're just here to make money pretty much. They didn't say, well, they were like there to like stop people from smoking, or oh, we want to be the big health benefit. That's the only problem I really had with them. But now, like, okay, maybe they had a change of heart or a change of mind, and they're like, hey, well, you know what, we really can make a difference.
I
Yeah,
want to put a little
like,
thought
they
in
can
your
make
head
a
really quick.
huge difference because they're so convenient. Like, I can't remember. I think it was Grim Green or someone else who said, I know someone who spends $30 or $20 every day to buy this and that for their blue because it's convenient. They don't want to go out there and buy a bottle of juice and it costs them $20 per month. It's the thing of convenience, and Jewel made it so convenient for people that it's just super simple and easy for them to do that.
Juul is the absolute top way for people to get off cigarettes to this day.
oh hell yeah!
You cannot deny that at all. They've taken, if you could, I would still consider they're in the vapor industry whether they like it or not, because their product is a vapor product. They can say all they want that they do not want to be a part of this industry, but you have an e-liquid inside of something with a coil that's burning. You are a part of this industry, no matter if you want to be or not. And they're the biggest reason why hundreds of thousands of people have stopped smoking within the past 2 years.
Oh shit, yeah. I mean, my
Biggest
mom
reason.
was able to quit smoking because of a Juul. I'm not going to damn a product that saved her life.
No.
I mean, and it's all about stepping stones, man. I mean, if you quit on a Juul and you stay on a Juul, or you quit and then you don't want to use anything at all, you just want to be nicotine free, that's fine, and I commend that. But it's all about stepping stones. So you have a smoker or a chewer or a whatever. Now we have IQOS. Like that is very much going to be a thing here. I didn't believe it. I never thought for a second they would ever pass their PMTA process.
Remember when we saw one of those at ECC last year?
Yeah, I was like, who the fuck is smoking in here? Like, really? I mean, I wouldn't use it, and it's not because I think the product's bad. It's just because I have been tobacco free for 4 years. It's the same thing. Like, I'm not going to smoke a cigar, even as I'm enjoying this as an after dinner on a cruise. Like, I don't use tobacco. Right. It's not about a nicotine thing. It's not about a combustion thing. I don't use tobacco. And so when you have something like you have a smoker, then you have the IQOS, then you have the Juul, then you have a starter kit, then you have a mech mod. They're baby steps. And if you have an IQOS, which is safer or less harmful, I guess, than a cigarette, then that's the step I want you to take. If you want to circumvent that and go straight to the disposable pod system, a closed pod system, then I want you to take that step. If you're comfortable going straight to a Pulse 90 with a Dead Rabbit SQ, and that's what you want to do right out the gate, that's fine. I just don't want you to smoke. Like that is literally the only thing that I care about. So when we and I'll defend Juul. I'll defend Juul allowing Altria to buy a percentage of them, and I will defend Juul that instead of taking their money and running and using it, they immediately turned and reinvested into all the employees that helped build that company up to where it is. They turned their employees into overnight millionaires, which to my knowledge, no other company in the world has ever done that. That takes like Warren Beatty shit and says, hey man, you talk about being super rich and giving to people that need it. These guys actually did that. And to have their own proprietary device, and they want to have their own stores, and they want to have their own products that only they can sell. Well, look at this industry. Look how hostile we've been towards them. I mean, short of coming at them with pitchforks and torches, we don't like your kind around here with Juul. And I truly don't understand that. I can't tell you how many times that I have been out somewhere. Just the other day at work, it was 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I finally got to step outside to take a vape break. My Stig died, and these are disposable. Once they did, you have to throw them away. Mm-hmm. I was able to walk across the parking lot to a Walgreens and get a Juul and a 2-pack of pods because I had some at home and be able to get my nicotine fix. The same accessibility that I could have bought a pack of Marlboro Red 100s. I could have bought a pack of little cigars or cigarillos. I could have bought a bag of Red Man if I wanted to. Mm-hmm. But I didn't because I had access to a product that is life-saving.
Yep.
So what it comes down to is these little assholes that are underage running around wanting to vape. I am not going to sit by and allow my adult decision to use this product to be hindered by these shitheads that their parents simply didn't take care of.
Right.
And that's all it comes down to.
Is parenting.
Absolutely, man.
If you're allowing your kids to get a hold of this stuff that easily, what kind of parent are you? It shows example to what kind of parent you actually are.
I mean, I'll be the first person to say that. And I said this with vaping with Ken, and I swear to God, I felt 4 sniper lasers on my head. I think the fact that we have a smoking age is stupid to begin with. Nobody decides on the day they turn 18 or the day they turn 21, I'm going to go buy a pack of cigarettes. No, you've been smoking before then. You're just now able to do it without.
The same thing with alcohol.
Right.
Same exact thing with alcohol.
Yep. The first time I got drunk was underneath a bush with my friend JP at his parents' house whenever they were out of town at the NASCAR races because his dad left the office unlocked and he had a cooler of beer in there. I was 14 and I was already smoking for 2 years.
The first time I got drunk is the first time I had a cigarette at the age of 13.
And I'll honestly say that Juul is what got me off of chewing tobacco the second time. So the first time I used all this other stuff, or I used the ego and all that. But the second time when I got back on chewing tobacco, like I've said in the Weekend Wisdom and everything, is a bunch of my buddies, they were all like in the Army and frat boys and stuff like that. And they were all, oh yeah, try Juul. I tried a Juul, and right after I tried a Juul, I was like, wait, this actually works. Let me go back to vaping. And I went back to a smoke kit and or smoke, whatever you want to say. Went back to a kit of that. But yeah, I like, that's what honestly helped me get off of chewing tobacco was a Juul.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like I said, I want to give Ruby Roo big credit for that, for sticking up for Juul. I know there's a lot of bad stuff going on around about him, but it's easy to pick on the person who's the most convenient, I guess you could say.
Well, it's the people making the money. And I had to close chat on the computer because it was just bogging everything down. I'm dealing with like a steam engine machine under here. It's horrible. So Angela said Warren Buffett. I said Warren Beatty. Warren Beatty is an actor from many, many years ago. Warren Buffett is a billionaire, trillionaire, whatever. But yeah, no, I very much agree. Juul is very much part of this industry. Who saved Colorado? Juul, as part of the VTA.
Yep.
And that's what I'm like. People are real quick to throw shade at Juul until they start putting their money where you want it to go. And absolutely, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh no, fuck Juul," because Juul cuts into the profit of their stores. Because a store would rather sell, and it has nothing to do with smoking cessation. They would rather sell $150 starter kit with $20 worth of batteries and a $15 pack of coils and a $25 bottle of juice than a $30 Juul starter kit and a $20 pack of pods.
Yep.
People get and they'll be like, no, it's because Juul is highly addictive and it's this and it's that. No, man, nicotine salts are just more satisfying. Just like after eating, you wanted a cigarette. It was just more satisfying. It was the same cigarette. It was the same milligram of nicotine. It was because in your head, that is what is more sufficient at that time.
Right.
This for me isn't about the milligram of nicotine. It's about the draw. I have 2 very nice K-Funs. The draw is not like this. It's about that whole like, yeah, because as a smoker and a heavy smoker for so long, that feeling and that mentality is ingrained into me. Am I still going out and buying a bunch of other stuff? Yeah, dude, shit, yeah, because I love this industry and I like to have different things. But I'm not going to damn any company unless you're making a dangerous product. If you have like metals in your e-liquid, yeah, that's bad. That's dangerous e-liquid. Or if you have a bod like the Cherry Bomber mod, that series box that it would just auto fire. That's dangerous. We don't need that.
Yeah.
So what it comes down to is picking your battles. Don't worry about what Big Tobacco's doing. Big Tobacco is going to do Big Tobacco regardless. Like they're just going to do their own thing. Worry about what the pharmaceutical companies are doing. Worry about what the politicians are doing, because Big Tobacco has to give their money away no matter what. They have to pay out the ass, and they know that if they can get into the vapor industry, because the bottom line is RJ Reynolds donated like $4.8 million to help fund the flavor ban or help to fund the fight against the flavor ban in California. RJ Reynolds very much wants flavors. Is it their own private interest? Hell yes, it is. But guess what? Our interests are the same. We're going to have people, no matter what, we're going to have people that are underage that are going to smoke, drink, and vape. We have people that have never smoked that will vape. We have people that have smoked that will vape. Like, these things are constant. Until you are able to remove one of them from this wheel, we will always land on one of these. So if you get rid of cigarettes, then you no longer have smokers. But what people are failing to realize is that the longer that vaping is a thing, the more smokers that are converted, the less customers you are going to have to convert to vaping.
Yeah.
Because people know that smoking is dangerous and you will die of a smoking related illness. Everybody knows that. You don't have cigarette commercials anymore. You have somebody on the TV who's had a tracheotomy that's like, I smoked for 30 years and this is what I got. And it's scare tactics. Like, oh, holy shit, if I smoke, they'll cut a hole in my mouth and I'll be a fucking freak of nature. Well, okay, that's, a little extreme, but yeah, something like that could happen to you. It's ridiculous, man. Like, eventually the vapors are going to convert all the smokers, and then what's the vape industry going to do? Because hobbyists are not what dominates most of this market. It's the freshly converted smokers.
The casual vapor.
Right. Once you get past that 50% mark, you are screwed. You are going to see a massive downturn in all vape products, liquids, devices. and it'll be truly a hobbyist market, because you have that casual smoker who became a casual vapor, and they're fine with their Alien 220 and their TFB8 baby and their bottle of liquid every 2 weeks. That's not enough to sustain a vape shop. Even if you had 100 customers, that's not enough to be able to sustain them. And this isn't me being like, oh, the end is nigh. It's just logic. You only can convert so many smokers, because unfortunately the rate of people that smoke die faster than the rate of non-smokers. So as this smoking number is dwindling and vapors are becoming more, and whether they're becoming vapors or just dying off, you're eventually going to the vaping market is going to stagnate. So companies like Smoke are going to be like, well, fuck, what do we do now?
Yeah.
You have to have big tobacco to create the smoker, so then you can then convert them to the vapor. Sorry, Shane. I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's the age-old question of how far can you run into the forest. You can only run halfway, because the other half you're running out.
Exactly.
So, once you get to that point, and I fully understand where Nick's going with that, you get to a certain point, there's nobody left.
Right.
Can you survive with your brick and mortar with 10 people coming in once a week or once every 2 weeks, depending on if they have a smoke product, they're going to be in every week to get a coil. if not twice a week. But at least once a week, and probably every 2 weeks for juice at the least. Can you survive 10 people doing that? No. There's no way you're going to stay in business, because you're not going to make any money.
No, and that's like I said, everybody's quick to be like, oh, fuck big tobacco. Big tobacco creates your customer.
Right.
And unfortunate as that is, and I hate cigarettes. I wish they weren't a thing. I've lost family members to them. I lost 10 years of my life to them, if not more, because of how much I smoke. I very well could get COPD in 20, 30 years. The issue is our enemy as a smoking cessation tool is big pharma, because that is what they make. They make smoking cessation.
Right.
Philip Morris, British Tobacco, RJ Reynolds, all of them, Altria, all big tobacco companies are making cigarettes, IQOS, and vaping products. They continue to do this because the fact of the matter is, sometimes when you quit smoking, you're a dual user for a while, or you try to use a vape and it doesn't work, and so you go back to smoking. Well, the vape industry is still able to be there and still be able to provide those products.
Right.
And that's what I think people are really not seeing, and not to bring back the whole forest thing, but not seeing the forest for the trees. Right. They're literally looking at a couple branches and saying, well, let's just burn this fucker down. Yeah. Well, it just doesn't work like that. Yeah. Like it's an ecosystem. It's a very delicate balance between, and I hate to even say it like this, but we have to have that attractiveness of smoking to have people become smokers, so they become vapors. Because I guarantee you, there is nobody in this industry who would say, I would happily close my doors because there is not a single smoker or cigarette left on this planet. Because if cigarettes are done, then they'll just use a cigar or a pipe or a cigarillo.
Yeah.
It's if it's not one, it's the other. Mm-hmm. And that's one of those things. Even I will sit there and I will say it. If I had a company, whether it's a brick and mortar, e-liquid, or hardware manufacturer, I wouldn't want big tobacco to be gone. I want smokers to continue to be created, so I have somebody to convert. Number one, I love the feeling of converting somebody from smoking to vaping. Number two, this is how I keep my lights on. This is how I feed my family. And that's not anything to fault anybody for. That's business. That's capitalism. That is what America is right now. And unless we're able to truly come to terms with it's like people that get to retirement age and they decide to do something like turn their home into a animal rescue. that is something that you were no longer going to be able to retire from. You were going to have to continue to work and actively take care of this instead of retiring and doing whatever it is you want to do. We're stuck in a vicious circle, and at some point, one of these, that the head will eventually eat the tail.
Yep.
You know, I mean, it's just it's
like playing a game of Snake.
Yeah, I mean it's exactly what it is. Eventually, we are going to eat ourselves.
Yep.
I hate to cut you guys off, but it's getting late here. I got to work in the morning.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna head to bed. Thank you
Yeah.
for having me on, Jay.
Yeah, we're gonna call it an end here in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But one thing I wanted to say is I'm glad I was never really a huge smoker because dipping was something that was easy for me to not dual use. But I like you said there, I have tons of friends who dual use.
Yeah. You know, it happens. I dual use for the first week after I got the vaping setup that got me to finally stay off of cigarettes. You know, yeah, I mean, and there's no shame in that. Like everybody's different. Sometimes you need that little. You need to be able to be able to compare the two.
Yeah.
To be able to have that cigarette and then vape and go, which one do I really want more?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I do use for almost 6 months before I quit. Simply because I was going through different setups and different juice and different ways of vaping to try to find that way. And I think that's what people really need to pay attention to. Don't pay attention to what somebody else has. It may, yes, this setup looks awesome. I absolutely love this setup. But I did not start with Mex for a long time. Mex actually scared me. I started out with Corey remembers this. I started out with this.
Yeah.
The ego twist with a Jenny tank. And I kind of worked my way up from there. But thing about Juul is it should be treated as a lifeboat, in my opinion. You want to get on there just to get away from smoking, but afterwards you want to upgrade. You don't want to stay in that lifeboat and just keep on using, this forever. I don't know. There's just a lot. So
yeah, that was like with me. Like I wasn't afraid of Mex because there wasn't as much to know about Mex whenever I first started with like the Chiyus and turtle ships and stuff like that.
Oh man.
Like back then, it was just like, hey, throw a battery in there and go. But go ahead, Corey.
Night,
Have a
Corey.
good night, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, make sure y'all check him out tomorrow. Who do you have on tomorrow?
I got the wonderful Vapor Swaggins on What's Your Story tomorrow.
Oh, there we go.
It's literally going to be a giant shit show because it's literally going to be two brothers literally just shooting the shit the entire time and possibly not even getting to topic. But it's going to be a really fun time, and I hope you guys come on in and say hi.
We'll be there.
So, guys, have a good night. Jay, thank you again for having me on. Nick, I love you, buddy.
Love you
Shane,
too, man.
thank you.
All right.
Can't
Corey.
wait. I will see you
Corey.
guys later.
But yeah, we'll close this show off here pretty soon. But like I was saying, is back whenever I first started, I started with like something like Shane had an ego twist, and like back then the ego twist was like the hot shit because everyone else had just like a regular ego, and they're like, "Oh, that one you could change the voltage." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what's
Yeah.
up." You don't know about that. But then like whenever it came to mech mods, like I'm not too sure if Battery Mooch or anyone was out there like that, but I would like watch, like honestly, I watched Rip Trippers like religiously, like watching his, like not vertical, but like kind of turn coils, and you'd wrap, I think he called it a tornado, where you wrap the cotton around the coil,
Yeah.
and then you soaked it, and then it like shot the vapor up. I'm like, dude, that's so cool.
Man.
Like me and my buddy, we used to do so many round wire builds. We went through like 3 different gauges of 100-foot like within a year, and it was like it was like nothing. Like we like every week we were like doing like 2 new builds at least, and then once it came to Claptons and stuff, we're like, wait, what's this?
Making guitar strings, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, like we didn't really know much about mechs, and I'm glad now I know more about mechs than I did back then because honestly, like now I don't want to say I'm more afraid, but I'm definitely more afraid of mechs than I was back then, just because I know more of the risk now. Back then, I wasn't really aware of the risk.
Yeah.
Now I'm more aware of it, so I'm like, yeah, there's stuff that can actually go on. Like back then, it's just like, hey, just throw your 18650 in there. That's all you really have, and start vaping. Like, you didn't think about, hey, what about if my battery wrap is torn? I never thought about that. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure there's someone out there who'd be like, hey, well, that could be bad. But I mean, like, I was like 18, 19, 20. I'm like, hey, man, I'm just going to do this because it's better than dipping for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wouldn't say more afraid of mechs now. I would just say more cautious.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Cautious.
And that's unfortunately my first or not my first vape experience was a blue disposable e-cig back in 2009, I think 2010, forever ago. But my the setup that actually stuck for me, the first day that I had started vaping, the shop sold me a mech mod with an Atlantis V2 on
Oh,
top.
yeah, that was back before hybrids, right?
No, it was a hybrid.
Oh, shit.
It was a hybrid. And
Oh, shit.
I had it torqued down so tight it was making a connection. Well, I had used it all day and the battery was completely dead. So I went into another vape shop because I was like, okay, well, these batteries are like, Duracell AA batteries. I throw it away, I get a new one, I pop it in. They're just bigger. And because they didn't tell me about that. They didn't tell me about battery safety or wraps or chargers or anything like that. So I was like, okay, well, when I went into this other shop, they were like, dude, sit that down. That's a bomb.
Yeah.
Let us use and they pulled out like an eye taste, and it was like $40 at the time. And they were so ashamed that another shop would sell something like that to me. They knocked it down to wholesale for me. So I paid like $12 for a safe setup. And I bought a
Dang.
couple bottles of e-liquid. And that was the first time that I discovered premium e-liquid. And I was like, oh, I am never going back to house liquid ever. That is not going to happen. And it just spoiled me from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my shop in Venus, like they would never, I don't want to say allow, but they did safe practice. They would say, hey, don't use this on there, use this on there. And we would always buy RDAs and stuff like that on mech mods, but that's honestly what we saw. But still, if we went in there with a sub ohm tank, they'd be like, hey, whoa, 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 what are you doing? And they're not huge mech mod holders. I mean, look at all the vapor shops now, besides like maybe Southern Cloud Cartel in Texas. Other than that, who honestly carries like expensive purge mech mods or any kind of mech mods, honestly? Because honestly, like I haven't seen my vapor shop carry mech mods in probably 3 years. It's been a while.
I mean, that's an accurate statement. I mean, because it's just not a it's I don't want to say that mech mods are a hot commodity, but I would definitely say that mech mod use is definitely now more secured. Most shops aren't just going to offload a mech to just anybody. They would rather sit on something for a while as opposed to sell it to somebody and they get hurt. Um, hopefully.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to do real fast. Speaking of mods, I am actually waffling off a BMI. So, if with permission, I have a group, and you guys are welcome to join it, of course. And I don't know if it'll let me drop a link because I don't know if I'm an admin or admin. Oh my god, moderator. But it is quickly filling up now. It's a brand spanking new BMI solid brass crown. everything boxed. I mean, it's gorgeous, and I'm raffling it off to afford to go to Showcase Houston. So if that is something you guys or y'all watching would be into, I can drop a link and y'all can join the group and jump in on the raffle.
Drop the link, man.
Yeah, I'm already in there.
Yeah, I think I'm already in there too.
Oh,
Definitely
cool.
drop the link. I definitely want y'all to go to Houston. I thought
I
y'all
do
were already
too.
going to Houston. I'm like, then I heard, oh no, we might not. I'm like, whoa, what?
Yeah, it's a little up in the air. If this goes through and everything gets um, if all the slots get filled up and it gets raffled off, then it's 99% in the clear. I just have to confirm my days off from work, and then I'm ready to rock and roll.
Hell
There you
yeah.
go. I wish I
Yeah.
could go, but I'm
Yeah,
getting
about
the,
to say, I'm sad Shane can't go.
yeah, the new roof going on my house next week kind of ate up my showcase budget.
Ooh, ooh.
Yeah, and then the AC going out
Yeah,
2 weeks ago kind of definitely threw him off,
yeah.
but got that
Oh,
fixed, luckily.
yeah. We did that last year. It was a little over $1,500.
Well, luckily enough for me, it was just a module, relay board is what it was,
Mm,
and he came over and took the relay board out and just hardwired it to where it would just run. So he got the
mm.
air back on, and that cost me $60, and then it was $120 when he came back. So $200 altogether. I got everything fixed.
That's good.
Yeah.
So
Ooh,
yeah,
ooh.
it pays to have friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Texas,
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
pretty sure in Alabama, you don't want to go without AC.
No, no.
Oh God.
If I went without AC, I don't know what I'd do. It would suck.
Dude, Jay and I are landlocked. We are like right in the middle, like North Texas essentially, and
Yeah,
it's like 108 with 5,000% humidity.
yeah.
I mean, that's why I can't wait for all these folks that have never been to Houston that are coming in, and they're all, oh, I'm so stoked, man. I'm be like, y'all are melting. I
Mhm.
cannot even begin to comprehend
Yep.
the shit that y'all are about to deal with, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Swaggin's coming from Mass. We'll come down to Texas, experience him
Oh,
a little southern heat.
he gonna enjoy that. Have to get him some real Tex-Mex and some tacos, or real Tex-Mex and some barbecue.
Oh, there you go.
Hell yeah. He has to get some good Tex-Mex, man. He'll get some good Tex-Mex, and like honestly, right next to where I work, there's a junk or not a junkyard, a scrapyard, and connected or like in the parking lot of that is a little trailer with just pretty much a kitchen, and it's just straight up Mexican food. It's not even Tex-Mex, just straight Mexican, and it is the bomb, and it's super cheap and amazing.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, dude!
I
This
love those.
people ask me
Little
all the
place.
time. They're like, "Where's the best place to get tacos where you're at?" I'm like, "Fuel City." They're like,
Oh
"What?"
my God. On the way home from Dallas, if you go out drinking, Fuel City. Definitely. Definitely.
Dude, I have a buddy that lives right off of 121 and Haltom. So every single time I go over there, if I'm like, hey man, I'll be there in 30 minutes, I will add, he'll tack on another 20. I
Mhm.
stop at Fuel City. I get the picadillo burrito and the elotes and a Coke. I
Oh
go
yeah.
sit out in the parking lot and I hammer that shit back. Then I show up. And he's like, did you stop at Fuel City? I'm like, no. I'm covered in grease and corn and what are you talking about,
You have
man?
a piece of corn in your beard. No, I don't.
That's been there.
But yeah, definitely Fuel City. I mean, I can't wait for Houston. Honestly, I wish Shane was going. I wish everyone that I know was going because Houston's gonna be a good time, and it's honestly my first show, and it's gonna be something that's gonna be really fun because I get to meet a bunch of people I see every day, but I get to meet them in real life. So I'm honestly
Yeah,
really excited for that.
that's It's going to be an event, man. That is for damn sure. Showcases has always done a pretty good job of having a good diverse amount of vendors, and a little bit of something for everyone, and they usually fill up wherever they're at. And according to a couple other people, because I've never been to this particular venue, it's a pretty big area. So, I'm hoping they'll. I was trying to find a list of the people that'll be there, but I can't get anything to pull
If
up.
you go on Instagram and follow Showcase, they're
Is on.
posting every time someone confirms that they're actually gonna go, like a vendor. That's what I've been doing at least. And they're in like these last couple of days, it's been filling up pretty quick. So that's something that's gonna be really good. A lot of liquid companies though. That's something I really want.
That they are always
Yep.
liquid heavy.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's see who we got. We got Mojo. We've got Rescued, Overpowered, Licks, Prohibition, which they have one of the best peanut butters and the best root beer flavors I've ever had. Craving Vapor, Caribbean Clouds, Lithicore, Sigeli, Nitro's Cold Brew, then the show unique Hexomes, Hempganics, Swizzle Stick, CBDMD, Sebome Turtle. I can't even read what logo that is. Vapresso, and the list goes on and on. So that's actually a lot more than what they had since the last time I looked. Overpowered is actually one of my favorite mod makers right now. You want a good solid neck that is massive, 30 millimeter, like all the way through, comes with a stack extension, and I think a set of batteries. And it is true to the name. It is overpowered.
Mm.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I'll probably buy one of those. I know. I think Twisted 420 is going, and Mike Vapes said he was going. So I'm pretty sure some stuff with them also. So I mean, there's going to be some good people there and some good products.
Yeah, Mike is great, man. He when I went to Atlanta Showcase, I just so happened to be standing next to him when they were handing badges out, and this was when I had a very very small YouTube following, and he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah." They're with me. It was me and Angela.
Mm-hmm.
And so they handed us all our badges. We got in. We didn't have to wait in line. So thank you, Mike. But he's super nice to meet in person, man. I mean, I have yet to meet anybody that's a vape personality in person that's an asshole. Like I've never come across that. So
Yeah.
it's really fun. It's really, God, I love conventions. But I don't care about the vendors so much as it's getting to hang out with people. That's the only reason why I want to go. Like I could go not spend a penny and be completely fine with it.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're running down to the end. Is there anything y'all want to promote? I know Shane, you had a video come out today.
Yep. Dropped this
And
morning.
I had one. We'll start with Nick actually. Nick, is there anything you want to promote?
Join the group. It's fun.
Yeah.
You can buy, sell, trade, promote your own products, promote your store, do all that kind of stuff. I've got a waffle going on for a BMI. It's really nice. It's pretty. Subscribe to my channel. I think you can click on my name, go to my channel, and
Yep.
I've been putting out a lot of content, and then I started working 40 plus hours a week, and I work overnights, so it's been a little difficult trying to adjust. I will not have a live stream tomorrow because I will be at work, and I should have a new video up soon showcasing summer e-liquids. And if you I have an IVC code. Go to independentvaporcompany.com. Use code ThickNick10. Save yourself 10% off. Get yourself a bottle of some Paramount. It's my favorite. But really, they have a whole bunch of great liquids.
Some bulbs.
I mean, they have literally a profile for every palette, and you can't go wrong. So go check out Independent Vapor Company, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Picnic channel.
Yeah, there hasn't
Shane, what
been.
about you?
There hasn't been. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what about you? And tell them kind of what your show today that you or your video today that you released was about.
Oh yeah, but I was gonna say there hasn't been anything that I've gotten from IVC that hasn't been just on point. You know, not overpowered, not over flavored. Everything's been just stellar. But my channel, Shane Oakley _SCFC. Go find me. I do right now. I'm doing a series on advocacy and activism. The first episode was just kind of an overview of them both. The second episode, which came out today, was just looking at advocacy as a whole. Not necessarily specifically vape advocacy, but just more or less a deeper dive into what advocacy really is and how to do it properly. And the next episode for next week is going to take the same approach, but it's going to be focused more on activism. There'll probably be another episode after that that will take everything and kind of put it together, but take the left turn towards vaping. And that way we can take that direction of what is advocacy and now how does advocacy affect and how does it relate to vaping and how can we use it towards vaping. But that's really all I got going. We got Weekend Wisdom tomorrow. What, 5 o'clock?
Yes, 5 p.m. Central Time.
Yeah. So we'll
I
be
believe
here.
that's 6 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely make sure you check out the Weekend Wisdom. It's gonna be mainly advocacy talk. We got Logan Exhales on tomorrow. Really good guy, really cool. So definitely make sure you're on there. I think Shane has a Teesprings also, right? Is it Teesprings?
Share shirt, share something.
Share shirt. Yeah, so here's a share shirt. Make sure you check that out. I got a Teesprings I just put up. Make sure you check that out. I'll probably go into more of the profits tomorrow, but not much profit that I'm gonna be getting off of that. And honestly, I made the profit as pretty much as low as possible just to make sure I get like $1 out of each, just because I wanted people to get something that's affordable because I'm a cheap person also. So yeah, but y'all stay cloudy and let's vape on, guys.